and welcome to the stunning venue of Innsbruck. We are here for the final of the lead competition. 8 men and 8 women have made it this far, but of course only 3 can get onto our podium here tonight. My name is Matt Groom, and it's a pleasure to be joined for the first time by Roxy Perry in the commentary box. Roxy, I know that Roxy isn't your proper name, but what is it your proper name?
It is my proper name.
I always thought that was a nickname for you. Okay, so Roxy Perry, look, tell us who you are, where you're from.
I am from Australia. I'm from Tasmania, right down the very bottom. And I am, just in Europe doing a couple of the comps, European Cups and World Cups for a month.
Well, thank you for joining me here tonight. Now, the athletes are coming out onto the stage, and as we said, 8 men and 8 women have made it this far. Roxy, that stage out there is very, very warm at the moment. We're expecting that sun to retreat quite soon, I hope.
Yeah, definitely hope so, because even in the shade for qualies and that sort of thing, it was quite warm and sweaty out there. So I can imagine the sun would be making that much worse.
Yeah, it is indeed. Well, the audience have been queuing for some hour and a half. I talked to a gentleman who was waiting to get right to the very front of the stage. Now, Roxy, maybe you can help explain this part here, because the athletes are looking at the wall. What exactly are they trying to spot when they're checking out these routes?
Yeah, so, I mean, for the most part, they're just trying to figure out their beta and their sequence. Usually they'll look for things like spots to rest, they'll look for sections that they think might be a bit tricky. They've obviously got binoculars out as well so that they can see a little bit better. Basically get as much information as possible so that they can do less thinking on the wall and more on the ground.
I'm loving Janja and Luchka there, air climbing together simultaneously. Do you spend time talking with people when you do this, or do you like to keep yourself to yourself a little bit when you're looking at it?
I think it really depends on who's around and within the round who I can talk to. Usually like friends and things, if I'm in finals with them, I'll get nice and close and that sort of thing. But yeah, it really just depends. I think I work better when I'm sort of talking through with somebody, even if it's still my own thoughts.
And do you pick someone who's a similar height, a similar style? Or does it not really matter?
Yeah, no, to be honest, not really, because I think for the most part, the sequence that they're reading is going to be quite similar. And then all the small things, like whether you get your foot slightly higher or you do something a little bit differently, that kind of comes as you're climbing it. So you do the bulk of the figuring out here, and then you do the rest when you're on the wall. Okay,
well, we have 2 routes ahead of us. The men and women will climb separately. Men on the right-hand side, women on the left. The athletes have 1 chance to climb this route, and as they go, they have to clip quick draws, which are the hanging things in the wall. You'll see in a minute on a close-up. They use a rope when they climb this, different from boulder competitions, and there is a maximum score and a top at the very end of this wall, which we'll see in a second. Now, to talk about some people, Janja Garnbret there, already a boulder gold medalist. It's so good to have her back, isn't it?
It's very cool. Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, obviously so much of the crowd are here to see Janja climb. I ran into some people on the bus the other day that were just here to watch Janja. They came from London. They don't even climb. They just follow it on YouTube.
That's amazing. During the boulder qualifications, I've never seen more cameras pointing towards Janja's direction when she came on for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
There were like 8 camera people just trained
Oh,
there.
well, even within, like, we were watching semis last night in the athlete area, and like Janja came out and almost every single athlete stood up and walked over to the railing, and it was just one of those things that, like, yeah, even to us and everyone, we still just want to watch her because it's so cool to have her back.
But she's got some tough competition. One of those ladies is here, Xian So, who is, has for a long time been one of her main rivals and friends. These two hang out quite a lot together. It's great to have Luchka Rakovic back in the finals. She took a break to recover from cancer, and we just send her huge wishes there on your screen with the dark hair. And it's fantastic to have her back. Annie Sanders, of course. And you know what's fascinating to me is Annie's dad showed me a photo of her and Janja a couple of years ago.
Oh my gosh.
It's like Annie was this
Annie
tiny
was
little
so
girl.
tiny.
Yeah. But, you know, it's sort of new school versus old school.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the ages of the competitors, just looking at the app and seeing where everyone is at. And it's always so interesting to see such a huge range of ages within rounds and within, the call.
Well, it's going to be such an interesting finals, this one. These 2 ladies looking at the very top of the wall. Now, we read this, both the routes with the route setters. And to explain to everyone, Roxy's going to be doing the women's final, then Jakob Schubert is going to come and join me for the men's final. Roxy, what was your general impressions of this women's route when you were looking at it and hearing what the setter had to say?
I mean, it does look really interesting. There's a lot of power-based moves, especially through that middle section, which is really nice to see, and it's refreshing when the women's climbs do have like something really just interesting and sequency and powerful. So I'm curious to see how they go and whether they stick to the sequence that he was discussing. But yeah, I mean, just the routes have been quite nice here so far from what I've found and watched.
I'd agree. They have the semi-finals was very resistance-based route. You know, there wasn't necessarily a specific crux. I think this is going to be a bit more cruxy.
This does look more cruxy. Yeah, the few sections there that I think, like, even just through the start, like, they're going to have their head game on and that sort of thing to not mess up. Might feel a bit like throw you off kind of thing.
Yeah, the set is sort of quite a difficult, crimpy start.
Yeah, I think he alluded to it feeling quite insecure, which is good. I mean, all of the women in this final know how to combat that for sure. So it's just good to see who's super switched on when they come out or not.
And we look at it in this corner here, this giant volume feature where the wall has literally been altered in terms of its angle. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that before.
Yeah, I've seen them maybe at a smaller scale.
Yeah.
But that, it really does. I was looking at it from the ground and I was just going, what is going on there?
Yeah.
Between the volume and the two different colours to try and hide the holds and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's disguised. It's very difficult for us as commentators here. The route set is playing games with us as well, as the athletes. And then looking at some of the men athletes here, Jesse Grouper climbed out of his skin the other day to get into the finals. He's next to Do-Hyun Lee, who is in the boulder competition, although he has had a bit of time to recover from that. And Max Berton in the background. His sister was commentating with me last night when Max got through, which was a lot of fun.
That would have been amazing. Yeah.
That was brilliant. Oriane was.
Yeah, I almost wish we had a way to listen to your commentary when we were watching.
Oh, thank you.
I think that'd be fun.
It's all right. You get a break from. Well, you don't get a break from me now. You're right next to me.
True.
I feel sorry for you.
I've watched enough on a screen.
Fair enough. Well, the men's competition will come after the women's rounds, and that is the 6 minutes up for the athletes. They will leave the stage. Yanni with the last glance over her shoulder, and this is the last chance the athletes will get to check out this route before they're on stage. And this is our audience. And Roxy, you said to me earlier on you had a massive session in this gym.
Yes.
It is a pretty good gym to climb in, isn't it?
It's a very nice gym to climb in. Yeah. It was really, really busy today, which kind of determined what we actually did in our session. I've not been here with that many people lead climbing at once. I think anyone that wasn't in the semi-finals today was climbing, and then I think just so many people here watching the event and wanting to be involved, and kids. And I think they had a comp on as well.
They did. They had a kids comp. And apparently they took the holds that we used for the finals but made the boulders a little bit easier. So if you're a kid, you get to climb on the same holds that people were on.
I walked past the boulders and I was just like, oh my gosh, these are incredible for a youth comp. And there's tiny little kids and they're climbing on these huge volumes and like... Yeah.
Apparently they were setting all last night to prepare for that competition. So thank you, guys. We didn't broadcast that. Maybe we should next time. You never know. Right, the rope is being pulled, which means we're pretty close to getting underway here. You can start to see the wall actually come into shadow as the sun will dip beneath the mountains. But it will be warm for the first couple of athletes out. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I can imagine that heat might just kind of linger as well. It doesn't start to cool off till much later.
I think it's one of the advantages, especially here, of qualifying higher up the order.
Yes.
So people like Yanya, Annie and Laura who come out last, I think that's a big advantage here.
Yeah, it really can be. Yeah.
Because we're coming up to 7:30. You can see the river in the background. Lots of athletes take a dip there to cool off after a session, which I haven't done yet. I need to do that.
I did on the first day I was here, and it was so cold.
Because I presume it comes off the glaciers or up in the mountains anyway.
Yeah, because I was in Italy last week and I jumped into one of the rivers and that was pretty cold. But this one I think was more so.
All right, well, the athletes will be introduced to us. You can see now the wall in shadow, which is good. Xian So will come out first of all, qualified in last position here for this final. She competes in boulder, she competes in lead, and I think we can safely say, although she's had a good boulder season, lead is her specialism. But this lady, first finals, that's got to be a special moment for her.
Oh, you can just tell that smile. It must just be so many emotions and so exciting. Like, I think when you get to that point, it's just whatever happens, you know?
I've watched her sort of coming up. She was very good in Vila for the European champs last year. She's always been on the cusp but never quite made it. And then this is the lady returning from cancer, Luchka Rakovic. What a story this will be. And we will be telling this story on the IFSC's YouTube channel at some point in the future. But this is it's a feel-good moment, this.
Yeah.
And after that, her teammate Rosa Recker, the youngster, into a finals here. It's good to see 3 Slovenian athletes here into the final.
It must be very fun having multiple teammates in a final.
Yeah, they've had a fairly sort of quiet-ish year so far, but the coaches now having to earn their keep. And then Erin Moniz comes on. She did miss the Boulder final the other day. She's back in a lead final. So maybe that extra rest will have done her good. I don't know what she's laughing. I think someone's waving at her. But yeah, she's on as well. And then Laura Rogerek comes on from Italy onto the stage. She's almost a local, Italy, a couple of hours drive away. And it's good to have her back on the stage. There is a couple of jumps. We know she sometimes struggles with that, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that was actually my very first thought when the setter mentioned that.
Me too, to be honest.
Yeah.
She can always get through it, but she sometimes spends a bit too much time figuring it out.
Yeah, the timeouts.
And then Annie Sanders was a bit frustrated in the Boulder finals the other day. She picked herself up really well, though, to recover. And, yeah, she's a true all-rounder at the moment. She was 6th in Boulder the other day, wanted more. Struggled with the hand jams.
Yeah, she didn't look too happy about that one.
Not at all. And then finally, Janja Garnbret didn't struggle with the hand jams. She
did not
beat everyone the other night. 4 tops in Boulder, and she wants a double here for sure. Okay, well, these are the 8 women who have got to this stage. It was an enormous qualifying session, record number of athletes registered. Those were taken down to just 24 last night. 24 have been cut to 8. And then Janja with a look back up the wall.
A little cheeky look back.
It's got to be done, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Shenso nearly walked the one way off the stage there, trying to have another look.
I did that in qualies, actually. I got way too close to the edge.
There's quite a drop there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second time for Janja, after nearly falling off in...
oh, yes. That moment's gone viral too, yeah. Yeah, the slow motion made that look an awful lot worse than it was in real life.
That's true.
Yeah, one of our brushes kind of... Well, I don't know if he caught her or Janja sort of bulldozed into him.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of both. It was trying not to make it bad, and it almost made it worse.
Yes, it was, yeah. All right, well, another look at our top 8. So remember, the athletes qualify, and they come out in the opposite order from where they qualified. So Xian So qualified in last, she'll come out first. Janja qualified first, she'll come out last. And this is the overall rankings presented by Euroholds. The Boulder side of things has been already sorted. Serato and Oriane taking that. Erin currently leading the way with 1,903 points. Because remember, we have had 2 World Cups already for lead. And we continue on to Chamonix, Madrid, Copper, and then the World Champs after this. Right, well, the DJ hyping everyone up here. Our MC, hands are in the air in the Innsbruck Stadium. It's become a tradition.
Yep. Definitely going to start waving.
It still gives me goosebumps watching this, to be honest. All right, so here we go. What a moment that is.
So good.
Pretty much everyone joining in as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I don't know where that camera is. Oh, it's a drone hovering up. That's cool. All right, so here we go. Innsbruck for the final time. It dances as we get ready for some of the world's best climbers to perform here. All right, well, backstage, Roxy, what's going through the athletes? What would be going through your mind as an athlete if you're away and hearing this noise as well?
I mean, a lot of the time, I mean, it depends which way you take it, but for some people, hearing the crowd can be a real hype up, and it's just like you get really into the mode. For others, like hearing those sorts of noises and the cheering can just like really turn on nerves. So maybe for someone like Eloise, it might be a bit daunting given that it's her first final. But people that are used to it could just be feeling really excited right now.
Well, this is the wall they have to face. It's 10 meters overhanging, lots of different angles throughout, and we're looking at the 3D render of the women's final. This is pretty accurate. It was done a couple of days ago, so there might be the occasional small tweak, but generally it's the same. So we start off low, balance and technical section on small crimps, and it will feel a little bit unsteady to start up with. Then we come into a dynamic section, 2 jumps. The first one not too bad, but a bit frightening in terms of you don't want to fall off early. You then have a moment rest and you have a big lâché out left. Power squeezing section, big holds, but they're a bit rubbish and you have to compress, and then resistance. And Jacopo, the route setter, just said the holds get worse up there.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, not too powerful, but the holds get really bad.
And a big jump to the top. So that is what the women have ahead of them. 15 meters high, 20 meters wide. You can see 56 degrees for the women. It's very steep.
It's steep, yeah.
I didn't know it was that steep.
I didn't realize either, actually, and I climbed on it.
Yeah. All right. And that's the hold numbers as well. The judges have a topo. When the athlete reaches a hold, they'll get given a score and they get a plus for going towards the next one. Center of mass and hands towards the next hold. You can't just slap wildly in the air for it.
Fall backwards with your arms straight doesn't count.
Used to be the way, but no longer.
Yeah.
Can't get away with that shenanigans anymore. Well, there's the Red Bull logo that frames our first athlete out, who is shown so onto the stage for her. Full focus, actually.
Yeah.
I can't believe she's only 21. It seems like I've been watching her forever. And she's kind of a leader within that Korean team. She started off, remember when she was first on the scene, she was kind of shy.
Yes.
Didn't really talk to anyone. And then she's now sort of instructing the younger athletes about what to do. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, really good.
So if she wins, she'll only be she'll be 11th on the female all-time list for lead wins. Hasn't won in a while. Last gold medal for her was it was Wujang, wasn't it? She has won recently. Forget that.
Yeah, it was the tied one with.
Yes, with Erin. Yeah.
Oh no, that was Bali.
No, that was Wujang.
No, that was Wujang.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we've never seen it. I've never seen it happen before. It's the first time it's happened since time became a factor in World Cup competitions. Yeah, exactly the same time and a hold. Unbelievable stuff, that. I remember messaging people saying, what is the rule about this?
No, and I even I thought about, because I think Sharon had used up her 40 seconds and her time had started before she actually got on the wall as well. So factoring that in, it was even like just the coincidence that they ended at the same time.
Unbelievable. All right, a leaderboard on the left-hand side. Obviously, she's in the lead, first athlete out. You'll be able to keep track of the climbers as they go. Looks pretty confident through these small holds at the beginning.
Yeah, very comfortable through the risky section, or the section that's meant to feel uncomfortable. So
yeah, I think she's dealt with every kind of trick the setters have thrown at her at this point. Yeah, she's at the Olympic Games. Up she comes into these 360 holds out. And then we're approaching the first of the jumps here.
Yeah, so once she gets into that pocket, there's a little bit of a cross jump.
It's not too bad. The setters were like, if you go for it, if you're positive, it's okay.
Yeah, like don't expect anything too hectic, but it's definitely something they have to really commit to. As you said, it's fairly low down, so there should be like a little bit of nerves around not wanting to fall off this soon, which can sometimes make moves feel harder.
Oh, she launches, cuts loose, hangs on with one hand. Now that blue cross on the wall is the final clipping position, so you have to clip this quick draw from here. And in this jump, kind of similar to a move we saw in Briançon last year, this sort of swing over jump.
Yeah, like a bit of a sort of lâché movement. Which, yeah, I am curious because it doesn't look super far, but
it's hard to generate momentum.
It is. Yeah, it's going to be very showy. The crowd's going to love it. That's for sure.
Up she goes, easy stuff, Vincenzo. It's usually one of those moves where if you just commit to it, it's all right.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think a lot of the time when people try to break the beta on those types of moves or do them a different way, it just ends up using more energy and wasting more time, and then you end up with people timing out or just not having the energy by the time they get to the top of the wall, even if they pull off the move a different way. So
yeah, exactly that, Roxy. Yeah, you're just getting your head more than anything.
Yeah, it's all about efficiency, really, isn't it?
Well, she's through, so she'll be able to breathe a little easy. You can see the time ticking down in the middle of your screen as the time limit for the athletes have to finish the route within that time.
Good pace so far, though.
Yeah, she's already halfway through, or nearing the halfway point anyway. Look at that background, the mountains just framed as the sun starts to set.
a lot of these holds in qualies, there'd be these big giant holds, and they all had little blockers inside them, and you can just see that on that left hand there as well, which just makes it a little bit worse. And sometimes it's a bit of a surprise too. You can't see it from the ground very easily.
We had one in Bali. I can't remember if it was the men's, and they had a pocket that was completely blind with a blocker in it. Like, you could not see it. The only reason I knew it was there. Oh, she slips going left. Now that's interesting, and this could be this sort of heat thing that we were talking about.
Yes. So this was a spot that the setter actually did note that it was going to be quite hard. He said it could stop, you know, a few people or some people. Designed to be a cross under from the crimp and then a throw around the corner into that pocket. Which, yeah, I guess.
It came out of nowhere. Like, she wasn't looking particularly tired on it.
No. It is a very, like, open-handed slope, though, and I think, as you said, in the heat.
Yeah, I mean, the sun is off the wall now, but there was a lot of temperature. We've seen this in comps in the past, where the first couple of athletes have just suddenly had moments. We'll check a replay of it, because it happened so quickly it was difficult to see. But this was the jump she made across. Easy stuff from her. We know how good a boulderer she is. This is pretty simple. It's jug to jug.
Yeah, yep. As you said, with commitment, it shouldn't be too bad.
I'm wanting to see the fall here. This is the cross-through move. And here it is. I don't know, maybe it wasn't a slip. She just...
Interesting that she came into it double hand. When the setter was explaining it, he sort of alluded more to coming under and then whipping all the way around so that you could catch the pocket and the orange hold at the same time, which maybe you need a bit more of that compression to stay on.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, that angle was better. You could see the right hand sliding off it, but it might have just been a body position.
It could just be a body position, yeah.
Well, Eloise Dumont will come on. She'll know Xianzhou hasn't topped the route because of the time it's taken, and she can actually see the quick draw sort of... Oh, no, all of them actually blowing in the breeze.
True.
You can't use that one.
You wouldn't know. Or she thinks that she got really high up, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to play detective and I realised it's actually quite windy here in the stadium. So Eloise is out and about. See what she can do here. First finals for her, so it'll be a PB whatever happens.
Yeah. She looked really solid in semis and qualies too.
I mean, look, 10th in Bali, 15th in Wujiang.
It was going to happen.
Oh, so close. So she's having a great season at the moment.
Yeah, looking great.
I like it when an athlete fulfills the potential that we can see, you know?
Yes.
You're like, I think she's on one, and then she does, and you're like, yes, justified.
Cool.
All right, she's underway. She'll be careful down low. It's rare that we see time really being a factor. Occasionally it happens.
I mean, for a lot of these athletes, whether the start is, uncomfortable or not, they're going to be prepared for that, whatever it is. It's usually just when you have expectations that don't meet how the climb feels that you can get thrown off. It kind of...
interesting. So when you've read it one way and it turns out to be a bit different.
Yeah, or you think it's going to be really straightforward and you're like, okay, I just got to get to this section or something. And then you start climbing and all of a sudden you're like, oh gosh, this is not what I was thinking. Yeah. And you sort of start to feel uncomfortable and then you're not really thinking about what you're doing anymore and you're more focused on the fact that you feel uncomfortable.
Interesting, okay.
And then it just goes downhill. But I mean, for all these guys, it's just, they would have just read, these are the moves. You just have to do it. You just have to be relaxed. And so far, so good to the start.
She slid down into that pocket but found the dish.
Yeah, hard to see those holes.
Pretty spectacular, aren't they? 360, 360 holes also create the kids' route that's on the speed wall right now, which is a lot. I did climb on it.
Did you?
It's a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, I actually looked at it and I was like, I kind of want to do that.
It's really good. All right, first big move then. She'll definitely cut loose. It depends how wild she is. She tries to flick the foot around the rope, launches. She should be good, and she is. Got to make that cross clip from here.
Should be fairly easy to do. It's just making sure that they do it in case they miss the lâché.
Yeah, so you don't want to be thumping into the wall. So check the clock. The clocks are pointed upwards at her so she can easily check it.
Yeah. Pacing pretty well though.
So she got the heel up high to rest. She'll shake out for a couple of seconds here. And of course the next one is pretty good as well. I think she's wanting to do this with feet on. Oh, now this is where things do get risky, isn't it?
Yeah, this is that confidence where...
And she'll try to go feet... No, she's not. Okay.
All right, no, yeah.
No?
Oh.
So she's trying to get a bit of drive off. Now she's got the right idea. Okay.
Yeah.
All good. So doubted herself for a moment, but made a very good correction.
Yep. And you can sort of see there's that blocker hold that is got no texture on it. Would also encourage people to do the dynamic movement because there's not as much space available to get your feet first or do something different like that. It's very much just get there and go.
Yeah.
It's almost a hint that that's the way you're supposed to do the move as well for the athletes. They're like, yeah, okay, this is this. We just got to do that.
That's a very good point, actually. When you see a blue cross, it's always... something's
like,
going on. We just saw where Sharon So got to, so up towards those orange holes.
Yeah, coming into the powerful section now.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's all powerful, really, but...
I do love the chalk she puts on her cheeks.
It's very cute.
All right, so here we go.
What a wonderful shot there.
Beautiful, isn't it? So the crowd cheering her on. She goes up towards the black pinches. Physical moves in this part.
Yeah, not a lot of opportunity to rest either, which is, I guess, part of the reason why coming into that next move.
So she falls a little lower than Sharon So did, so she'll slip into second place provisionally. And yeah, it seems to really burn you out fast.
Yeah, it's kind of like the sort of jugs around that dynamic section at your last really good rest. I mean, everyone will find something somewhere when you need to. But the powerful section, it's very wide. You've got heels, but you can't really let go for too long with either hand. So you just got to make sure that you're fresh enough. Potentially not fall into the trap of resting for too long on the jugs as well.
Yeah, that's a good point, because you can, none of these rests are particularly good. You're never going to fully recover, and you can stay a bit too long sometimes.
Yeah.
So this is full concentration as she moved up through the ghost holds into these pockets. Had the jug nicely, and that's the blocker you were talking about. Just makes it a bit more awkward to do that.
Yes, you can see her heel not quite finding the spot there, and just all those little additional moves that just make you a little bit more tired.
And this is where she fell, going to the crimp. Those hips were going backwards. You suddenly saw it happening to her. Team Belgium, job done for tonight.
Yeah, you can see she didn't have that clip yet either, and I think it was going to be very hard to clip if she'd stuck that next hold. So it was kind of on the way out a little bit at that section.
Yeah, the athletes can go past clips, but they can't go too far. There'll be a point where the score will stay, won't keep on getting points. Right, Luchka Rakovic comes onto the stage. We said her return to the IFAC circuit, and she's straight into a final. So impressive.
So good.
2023 was when she went away to recover, and it's fantastic to have her back on the biggest of stages here. And she was a regular in finals before that. Again, we watched her for years. Semi-finals, finals, barely had a bad comp. Had a couple of Boulder rounds along the way, sort of like preparation for potential Olympics, but generally she's a lead specialist.
Yeah.
And she's up and climbing. 6 minutes on the clock. No one getting past the halfway mark so far on this walk.
Yeah, hopefully starting to cool down a little bit at this point.
Yeah, it must be, surely. Slowly. Europe's in the middle of a huge heat wave at the moment. Spain especially is baking. And it's been quite hard to manage the heat this week, I'll be honest. And I'm not even climbing, so I don't know how you guys are.
Yeah, well, coming from Australian winter and being down south, it was a bit of a rude awakening getting off the plane to not getting dark at 4 p.m. And
the Brazilian paraclimbers were telling me that they just felt at home. It was exactly the same. So
that's
it's fine,
amazing.
No problem. All right, so Luchka, careful, down low, nice and steady. That's the small crimps we were talking about. She's good at small crimps, though.
Yeah. Lots of still little blocked holds, though. Really making things quite directional, and you can only hold it at a certain point. And just the accuracy factor as well. You can't just wildly throw at things. They have to be really specific.
Well, these lovely shots to show how small the holds are. There's no texture everywhere. Those stripes on the black volumes. And no texture on the Rock City. They're Rock City, those lightnings. I think they are, anyway, yeah. All right, so jump to come for Luchka. She is one of the taller athletes. She'll still have to cut loose on this move.
I always get thrown off by Rock City because if you say it fast enough, it sounds like Roxy.
You're true.
And every time people are like, sponsored by Rock City. I'm like, sponsored by who?
Oh,
no.
She's the first one to fall on that move. And, you know, she did kind of try to keep feet on, I think. And that is an early fall for Luchka. I think she tried to sort of just, as Roxy's crossing her arms.
I know.
I was trying to figure out the move. Interesting, right? Well, we'll check this out. This has been it's one of those finals where I sort of settle into speaking and suddenly the athletes are gone.
Yeah, that's exactly what just happened, I think. It's always a tricky one when someone like Shehyun, who's so decorated, comes out first.
No, she didn't try to keep feet on. She just seemed to slightly misjudge it.
So it was that first cross, that first dynamic move.
The left hand did ping out of that pocket, but looking how stretched out she was on it, it seemed like it was just a bit too far.
Yeah, like almost went for just a stand-up, like a static sort of move. Maybe because she is potentially a little bit taller as well, just kind of
maybe
misjudged.
She thought, and maybe she jumped a little too late. You know, she was like, I'm going to stretch it. Oh, I have to pop for it, and it was gone. Well, she's back regardless, and I don't think she will particularly care about that result.
I think,
It's really an amazing comeback story for her, and it's so good to have her. Well, blink and you miss it with 3 athletes in. Rosa Reker is up next, the Slovenian athlete number 2, onto the mats. And Rosa, at just 19 years old, has already made quite a few finals along the way. She was 8th in Bali, she was 6th in Seoul last year, 4th in Briançon. Absolute quality. We appear to have lost her momentarily. Where is she? She's there somewhere.
Trying to get her liquid chalk to dry.
Now, I don't know if it's oh, there. I think I can see her in the back. Okay, so I've been told that she was caught a little bit unawares by that one, so she's not quite ready. So we'll give her a moment to prepare. It's fair enough. All right, now I think she is ready now. Rosa Reker comes out then, so caught a little bit unawares by that quick time.
That does happen sometimes, unfortunately. And I think the hardest bit is when you're just in a really specific mindset. You kind of, you've got timing for how long it takes to put your shoes on and chalk up and, breathe a few times. And then all of a sudden they're like, you're on, where are you? Why aren't you going? And it just throws out your whole system.
Well, that's the thing. And now she's got to take her time because this is her moment. She's got 40 seconds to pull on. You won't be disqualified unless you're sort of sitting chilling, but you'll be hustled forwards by the B-layers. All right, so Rosa Reker underway. 6 minutes on the clock, and we've seen some early falls already. So, and for her, psychologically, she'll be thinking, what happened? Is there a stopper move somewhere though?
I think based on the amount of time, she can probably have a pretty good guess that it would be around that first jump, or dynamic movement. But you just would never really know for sure.
I'm sure she'll be able to put that to one side. She's been in this position before.
Yeah.
So quickly through the crimps now, cracks in a high heel, reaches left. And you're right about the disguising. There's lots of holds in the same kind of coloured surfaces.
Yeah, all the yellow crimps on yellow. And then also mixing it up a bit just to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, we saw it in the semi-finals. A couple of athletes missing jibs along the way, so it's possible to do.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely a style that's coming into setting a lot more is the disguise. I mean, obviously first came around with these black and white holds.
Yeah, the no texture that you can only really see in the lights.
Yeah, exactly. But then just getting a bit more creative with the colour of holds too.
Yes, I've been reliably informed by an animal expert, by the way, that it's a jaguar, not cheetah. No, sorry, that's wrong. It's leopard. It's not jaguar, it's not cheetah, it's leopard.
Oh.
There we go. So leopard. Oh, she jumps, holds it. It was a bit wild as well, that.
That was, the double hand catch.
Yeah. All right, she was on the edge, but has done it.
Perhaps they also read that move together, maybe, and kind of went at it a similar way.
Yeah, perhaps. And then I think she is just composing herself here a little. So another jump to come, though, and then she can breathe and just get on with it. So she'll shake out here. Smears for the feet. These are the 2 high points at the moment. She's on the 56 degrees section. Starts the kick. That wasn't the best. Now she's got the swing going.
There's the momentum.
Not too bad, yeah. Left hand, right hand. Yeah, that first swing was a bit dodgy, and then after that, she sorted it out.
Yep, one to get it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rope is in an interesting position there as well, because you have to get that clip before you go. I've noticed a few people kind of getting their hand a bit caught on the way through, which is, it makes my heart jump a little bit every time.
Yeah. Rope management can be
especially on a move like that where you just have to move so fast and everything has to work out perfectly.
Absolutely. All right, well, this is the section we've seen a few start to burn out here. Physical parts to come. On with the right foot, up she goes into the dish.
Looking pretty comfortable though. Okay, so she's also got that clip now, which Eloise didn't have at this point.
Yeah, so she's obviously feeling a little better. Out she goes, only just though with those fingertips on.
Yeah, that is pretty small and blocked.
Yes, it is. Well, the high heel will allow her to keep close to the wall here. And she'll approach the high point at the moment if she can get through this next section of moves. That looks more in control.
It does.
And Chen came inside. She went out.
Inside, yeah. So that's what I was sort of thinking with the... Oh, no!
But she goes on the next move.
I'm going to stop saying that every single time someone falls off.
No, that's fine by me. It's kind of like we're sieging the route at this point. Like,
yeah.
Small gains on the high point, but that is the new high point.
Yeah, so that cross under and coming through, not all the way to the arete, but hitting the other side, as opposed to coming onto the inside, keeps that compression. So you've got this sort of opposition, which was Cheon matching on the inside. The body position just looked a little bit off balance. Although slapping into the no-tech side of that hole to keep you there is...
Yeah,
that's pretty full on. yeah. But she made it work.
And this was the swing. It actually looked better in slow motion than it did in real life, that first jump. When I saw it, I was like, oh,
yeah, we were like, oh.
Yeah. And this was the kick and the swing down low. It's spectacular, but not too difficult. Full focus there. Last shade across. Oh, well, something fell across the screen then.
It did, yeah.
So what that was, hopefully it wasn't a hold or a camera off the top. And then this was the section where she fell, reaching up with the left crimp, tried to drop back down to save it, but it's hard to retreat at that point.
Yeah. Just pinged right off it.
Yeah, she had the distance, she had the range. Maybe more pumped than she thought.
Probably explaining it all right now.
Yeah, the athletes sit in zone towards the right-hand side once they've finished climbing. So 31 plus is our current leader. Rosa Rack, we just watched her. Then she so Eloise Dumont and Luchka Rakovic, who fell fairly early on the first jump for 19 plus. More than, halfway through now. Erin Manice, Laura Rogera, Annie Sanders and Yanya Garnbrett to go for the women. And this is the sort of difficult section of this route so far. The orange and black volumes. And we're just watching a little bit of a highlight. We'll let you enjoy this, and we're back for the second half of the women's competition in a moment. Well, welcome back then. It's time for the second half of the women's comp. This is the list of the athletes who have made it through to this stage. We're halfway through this final. Men's final will come after, where Roxy is being swapped out for Jakob. Jakob Schubert having injured his finger. It does look pretty nasty, that, actually. I looked at it the other day, but we'll talk to him about that. But he pulled out, as did his teammate Jessica Pilz, who's very injured at the moment.
Yes. And I saw her post. She actually was quite undecided up until the day, and then looked at the quali routes and just saw how crimpy they were.
Yeah. No go. It's a shame. They'll be back, though. We're having one last look at this route and the walls. 10 metres overhanging our lead wall here in Innsbruck. It's a permanent structure. Anyone can come here and climb on it at the Kletterzentrum gym. Starts off low on what is awkward but hasn't proved difficult. Whether the athletes get pumped is hard to tell. A jump to the first of the black good holes, a swing over to the second one, and then power section here. But so far, no one has made it more than halfway through, so lots of work to be done on that part. And then the head wall, it's a leopard, not a jaguar, to finish things off.
Not a cheetah.
Not a cheetah, no. Yeah, we had someone telling me there was a bug on the live stream the other day, and someone sent it to me.
Yeah. They were terrorizing us over in the athlete zone as well.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it was the same bug.
I don't usually bring it up, but it was so obvious on the screen. I just thought, if it's dive bombing the athletes, we're going to talk about the bug.
Yeah, do you think you can call it technical for a bug?
I honestly, someone discussed this because there was a bee in copper a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And whether you could, I can't remember what I don't think you can, is the thing. It's kind of an act of God, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
Right, Erin McNeice is out, and she's a very sort of composed, often quite reserved lady, but she's so competitive, and it would have annoyed the heck out of her not making finals the other day.
Yes, that would have been a hard one to watch, I'm sure.
So I think she'll be out for a bit of revenge here tonight.
Yes.
And Erin McNeice, more than capable of that revenge as well. Multiple gold medals this year already, including that shared one with Xian So. And then in Boulder, she's won gold in Bern, lead in Bali she's won. She also won lead in Wujiang, so she's going for gold number 3 in lead here.
Yes, very impressive.
Yeah, exploded onto the scene a couple of years ago. She has got to be careful. There are some bolts out there on the left. It would be a pretty cruel appeal from someone if she touched that, but I guess theoretically.
Yes, there was one in qualies on Route 2 as well, which... Oh, no, sorry, it was actually in the same spot. And I had the thought because I toe hooked around the corner and then I kind of moved it and I was like, did I hit something? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, they're
blocked on the main route, but not on the sidewalk.
Yeah, it would be an interesting one.
Yes, I could see someone doing it. Not someone specific, but a coach doing it if they did touch it, But anyway, we won't worry about that until it happens. Let's ignore that.
Don't give them any ideas, I think.
No, exactly. All right, Erin clipping. She's through the first part. Looking okay at the moment. And here we go on these big Rock City, not Roxy volumes. I'm going to call it Roxy volumes.
Roxy, I mean, better. Yeah.
Although someone from Rock City will absolutely send me a message and say,
wait. Stop doing that.
Stop doing that.
I mean, if you say both fast enough, you actually don't know. So.
That's true. You'll have to listen now and I'll do it.
Maybe if people ask me what my real name is, I'll tell them it's Rock City.
Interesting. All right, Erin approaching the first of the pockets before the jump. Looking good so far. She's very good at pacing herself as well as Erin.
Yes. Yeah, just watching her coming into the lead scene this year and just, it looked like some decent changes from last year.
She's certainly the star of the women's scene at the moment. There's some other strong athletes though in Team GB, and of course their teammate Toby taking the gold the other day for Boulder, which was amazing. Just because he went from 51st to first in a competition.
I know. He was almost saying that by almost admitting that it hadn't been going well for him, he climbed better because of it.
I mean, he told me that he just wasn't expecting it. I think that was a huge part of it.
It was what we needed.
All right, Erin. Oh, now that was very risky. She tried to keep the foot on the no-tex, and that is not the way. So she has obviously not spotted this.
Yeah, and you can see the rope actually was kind of what stopped her as well.
Right,
okay, there we go. That was an interesting way of doing that.
I mean, it's maybe an example when you have too much power because she just flicked over. But
it actually kind of, I think that was what she tried to do the first time, but her foot got caught in the rope and kind of...
Oh, is it the rope? See, I thought she slipped off the no-tex.
Oh, maybe a bit of both. I definitely saw the rope in the way.
No, it's fair enough. I'm sure it was a bit of both because I saw the feet slip off that. Oh, look, we'll see a replay.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it will be an issue if she was helped by the rope. But,
I don't think to that extent.
Okay.
I think it just kind of stopped the movement.
Okay. Yeah, could have got yourself caught up.
Yeah. Then she went, nope, redo.
But has that cost her a little bit of energy?
Goes for the toe hook instead of the heel here. Which might not be as good of a rest, but it looks like a good position to be in.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's not really a moment where you can recover. I think she's looking shaky at the moment.
A little bit.
Oh, drops in just about. This is true fight
right foot
time.
really locked it in there. This is amazing.
Yeah, this is where Erin's going to have to dig so deep.
That was a really good save. Yeah.
And she does eventually go. That'll be the new high point, but that slip cost her.
It did.
Yeah,
that was a very impressive save on that match at the bottom of the orange hold. well, save, I guess. I mean, there's not too many options for ways to do that move.
Yeah, let's have a look. I can't wait to see this. Well, I mean, not for her.
Yeah,
I feel
just,
sorry for her. I want to see what
just
happened.
See what happened, yeah.
Because look, it's super shiny. That you can see it in the light. No texture under there.
The angle of the wall makes it hard to actually see what's going on too.
Yeah, exactly. So she set herself. Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So I mean, I saw the foot come off the as well, though.
That will be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Whether an appeal comes through for that. I'm not even going to make a call on that one. Although, hang on, my phone's just buzzed here.
Okay,
so hang on a second. Let me keep you updated here.
Here's that
Nope,
drop.
nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Yeah, she looked like she changed her mind mid-move and then stayed on, and then, yeah, it looked like her foot kind of got caught around and then pinged off before there was any kind of, body weight being hung on it. It would be a very interesting appeal if it went through, I think. I don't know if it would. Yes,
it would be. I mean, I remember a similar kind of thing happened in Vila a couple of years ago, and just the rope. I mean, of course, Neo in Luzhang this year was caught by the rope.
Yeah.
But I don't, as you say, I don't think that was enough. But I am not a judge, and I'm not going to try to judge.
True,
so let's just.
We're not the coaches.
No, thank goodness. We'll keep very quiet.
Yeah.
Here. Well, that is our high point. Araminis is leading the way with 32. Rosa Reca on 31 plus. Eloise 28 plus. And so in between there with 30. And then Luchka Rakovic falling fairly low down, 19 for her. So it was a good recovery from Erin, but she just didn't have a moment where she could properly shake out and calm herself down.
No, that's what I was kind of thinking about that section, is there's just no really good rest. So especially if you do get a bit worked up on that jump, which is your kind of last opportunity for a really decent breather. If you don't have the best recovery there, then coming into that next section without actually having a really good spot to stop, but just keep going, it can be a bit of a fight, which it seemed like it was. I mean, she fought really well through that section.
Yeah, she did. So she recovered well, but she was instantly quite annoyed by that. That slip cost her. You can see the frustration in her face.
Yeah.
And she's sitting down on the sofas right now by herself, I think, just taking a couple of seconds to herself. All right, so Laura Rogera underway, and we know how good a resistance climber this lady is. I just hope that she doesn't overthink the jump, because I've just seen her do it one too many times.
Too many times.
Yeah. So I've now crossed my fingers. They're crossed. Come on, Laura. And it's something she's aware of, something she will work on. All right, so a couple more. We're in the top three now. Laura, Annie and Yanya to go for the women's route. The men's won't start until 8:40.
And Laura just won the European Cup that was last weekend. Quick turnaround.
Yeah, she's one of those athletes who climbs almost every event she can get to.
Yes.
She's always there.
Yeah, that one was also in Italy as well, so it was obviously a very big crowd and
home World Cup for her.
A lot of hype.
Okay, so up she goes. Up towards the jump section here.
I feel like maybe that first one can be a bit easier on the commitment. It's a bit more straightforward.
The first jump, yeah.
Yeah, that first cross.
It's the swing that I think you can, like Erin did.
Yeah, really kind of overthink it.
Yeah, or under. I think Erin just thought, I'm just going to flick over.
True.
It's got so
True.
much power.
True.
And actually, she might have just underjudged it.
Yeah.
All right, so Laura's in. Look at those mounted style. It's so beautiful here in Innsbruck. Every time I see her shot, I just want to sort of National Geographic.
I know, right?
I hear music. And then Lara is thinking about this. She goes for the jump, hands in.
At least you can see that it's a good hold from where you are as well. You know exactly what you're going to.
So jump one for Lara done. Just one to go.
Curious to see if she tries to put her feet up.
I was about to say, I wouldn't be surprised if she has a little look to see if she can. She loves going feet first and with that cross-through move, but I think it's probably out of reach for her. No, she's just going to go. Ooh, okay. So she has.
I think maybe it does kind of appear to be close enough to just swing one arm, which is kind of how Erin went at it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few people, well, we have seen a few people try that.
Yep, there we go.
Here we go.
Feet first for Laura.
Okay.
And now, maybe not, just enough to drive. So she's read it correctly. She starts this swing, and she's in nicely.
Nice. It almost looked like she went for the foot first. They came off, and she realized that she could generate the movement,
yes.
the momentum.
So Laura has obviously just sort of figured out some things from last year where she did make mistakes on moves like that. It's good to see that she's improved from that one. Okay, so now let's see how much power she's got in those arms. That's Erin's high point, 32 plus. Crowd cheering Laura on here. There are some big moves to come.
Yeah, she can certainly hang on, but I think she'll enjoy the top section of this climb.
Yeah, exactly, where the holds get bad.
Holds get bad. Arguably, they're already pretty bad, but...
Yeah, Laura did a classic sort of crimper, a foothold last night in the semi-finals.
Yep, true. That was a nice hand-heel match, actually. No one's really done that yet. They've kind of powered up and then got the heel on the orange.
She's very low on this, though, you know. She's absolutely at stretch. This is where Laura's strength comes in, fighting through these moves.
Such a deep cross under that. Okay, she's going for a match. Interesting. If she can bump the right foot up, I could see this method working.
Yeah, good spot, Roxy. All right, out to the arete then for Laura. And she's going to get up to Erin's high point.
That heel. Oh, she hasn't got the clip yet, which everyone else that got to this point had already clipped this one from the heel hook out on the big orange one.
Good point.
She moves back.
She's spotted it, hasn't she?
Yeah, so it's going to be a tricky...
I think she might be able to sort of flick it with a toe.
Yeah.
It's going to make it more awkward from her.
It definitely wasn't a situation where she could down climb that move again.
She's gone past it. She can't get that. Laura goes for a sort of a hold on top. I wonder how much... And look, head in the hands of the coaches. I think they know.
I think that was definitely a moment for her realizing that she hadn't clipped it and that there probably wasn't much more of an opportunity.
Yeah.
And you do kind of get that hesitation of, do you just keep going for moves, or at what point are you just going to not be getting any more points? And any moment that you're distracted from what you're actually doing, which is, climbing and figuring out the moves, physically you start to wear down as well.
And she'll know, there's a point I can carry on maybe getting a couple of points, but the judges will not give it to you at a certain point. Yeah, that's it. And it was the fact that the coach had head in his hands was very telling on that one.
Yeah, it'll actually be interesting what their cutoff is for the last point where you're able to clip that, because it could be lower than what she got to.
Might be. Well, we'll see. I should get told. This was her after the jump. This is the swing. And we both thought, she's going feet first. I actually think, to be fair to her, she was starting the drive.
Maybe she actually was starting. Yeah, I did think that.
Because we both were like, there we go.
And then she swung back.
It's just, and this was the coach. That was the... he maybe was happy.
That was the swing. That was the...
Oh, right.
That was the last... Yeah. They were really stressed about it, and then she dug it, and they were like, okay, good.
I'm trying to... it's pretty impossible to read what the coaches are thinking from that shot. But this was where she went up onto the jib, pinging off it. I think head not quite in the game with that one when she came down.
Yeah, I think there was just too much question on what to do with that clip situation that it gets hard to fight. You can't really keep throwing for stuff without clipping.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Annie Sanders is out now, looking pretty calm and relaxed out there.
Yeah. She always does look pretty calm and relaxed. So.
She does, yeah. She just owns the stage at the moment, doesn't she? Like she belongs out here. Okay, Annie. Well, all season I've been saying she climbs boulders like lead problems. Now it's time to climb these lead routes. like a lead route. Yeah, like boulders, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, though. She has got this unbelievable endurance, but she's also got the power that comes with being one of the best boulderers in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, Annie, she's underway. Up towards the yellow crimp sit.
It looks like there's a bit of a breeze there now, actually, too, which is probably very welcoming.
Yeah, it's not bad conditions right now for the athletes on the stage. The heat has gone away. So Annie into these crimps. So, couple through. The jump should be no problem for her, really, later on. It's kind of she doesn't always love a dynamic move in a boulder competition. We'll try to usually get around it somehow, but I think jumps like this are pretty simple.
I think that's it. It's a lead jump, so it feels quite daunting compared to the rest of the route, but for what the boulder athletes are used to, it's not anything too hectic.
No, agreed. Those are the top athletes. Very close. Lara has got the high point, 33. So she was awarded it. She did go to the next one, which should have been a plus. So maybe, as you said, that would be the
maybe
the
that's the
cutoff.
high point. So I guess they still believe that it's possible to clip from that hole.
From that hole, because she went up. Oh, the crimp is attached to it. Oh no, it should be an extra point. So maybe.
Maybe it was like if you go to that next hole, there was no way you were going to be able to clip anymore. So they don't give you the plus.
I think you're right. Yeah. So Annie starts to get set for this jump now. Crowder behind her. Oh, everything is blocked. You're so right when you notice that.
Yeah.
I remember when block crib started to become a thing, it was quite a novelty, and that was almost like every hole
it literally
has to be blocked.
It's so specific.
It's one way to avoid, especially the women who are very good at getting heels and toes into weird places.
Toes,
it stops
matches.
That. Yeah, true matches. You're right.
Yeah, and then just that added riskiness, accuracy. Really, it does check a lot of boxes. Oh, she's just going.
She's going to try to lock this up, isn't she? Interesting. Well, she certainly thought about trying to do it statically.
Yeah.
The setters will have really tried to prevent this. They'll want them to jump here. She does go into the jug. Nice stuff. Okay, second jump to come for Annie. Clip first, of course. Checks the clock. She's all good. Those feet. I'm sort of appreciating actually what a mean section this is, because although you are in a big jug, you've got the worst feet there.
Bad feet. I know. It's like you can rest if you want to campus.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly that. Yeah, and your core is always going to be engaged.
Front lever on some no-techs.
Yeah, it's mean. But she immediately starts to swim. Oh no, she doesn't. So she goes for it first.
Okay. We got one.
It was going to be Annie or Laura, and then she changes her mind.
She's also used quite a bit of her time so far, especially compared to the others.
You're not always the fastest of climbers, is that?
No.
As I said earlier, time isn't usually a factor. It is with some athletes, and Annie is one of those athletes. Because she's not very far, you're right.
No. I guess if you think of it as 6:30 is 3 minutes, so you want to be about halfway.
Yeah, and
at
she's
this point,
not,
which is not quite there. But I guess we also know that the next section there's not a lot of stopping.
True. So Annie rocks up into the angle change now. More big moves to come here. That's the thumb catch. Great camera crew here have really taken pleasure at punching in on holes, which I enjoy seeing, to be honest. It's hard to tell on TV sometimes how bad they are.
For sure. It just does add a lot more perspective to the climb.
Yeah.
You can see that.
The level here it's very different from your commercial climbing.
Yeah.
You know, and you as well, Roxy, but you're included in this. You guys are so elite. It's just hard to get your head around how good you guys are. So, Annie with the heel, up to the orange hold.
To the hand heel match, same as Laura actually there.
Now, will she make the clip? Laura didn't.
Interesting. So I think, from this toe hook is where most people, That's good. She's looking a little bit pumped here. But also that.
Outrageous high drop knee from Annie.
If there's a rest, she'll find it.
Yeah, but 1 minute on the clock. She hasn't got enough time to do this route, so it's going to be interesting how far she can get.
She's going to go for this. She's looking to do it the same way Laura, which was the match on the crimp.
Yeah.
Because that cross is just so powerful. I do think that right foot would help.
She falls. That section's got to be full on, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Erin is caught by our cameras there. That's not going to be the high point for Annie, and she knows it as well. Little shake of her head.
Yeah. It's hard with such a big crowd, and you can hear the vibes.
Yeah.
You can hear people not really, you know, super behind you yet.
Interesting.
You know that you're not really at that high point.
That's a really good point. So she'll kind of be aware when she comes down that she hasn't.
Yeah. So there's like the factors of, you know, she obviously didn't feel like she put in a very good run. She instantly knows that.
Yeah.
But then also, like, yeah, the crowd's just like not quite as hyped as you think they would be by that point.
No, it's a very good point. And it's interesting how all those little, not mistakes, but moments where she wasn't as smooth as she could have been, it all added up.
It did, yeah, 1 minute left.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, there's no way she had time to finish that route. This was the swing. It was all good here. And it's hard really to tell where she lost time. I think it was just generally she was just a bit
a little
slow.
bit of hesitation, and it really just adds up.
And wasn't really close to that move. And didn't know what to do. I think that face of Annie is everything at the moment. It's sort of what, you know.
Yeah. Why did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, she literally mouthed it on the hand jam the other day.
Oh,
while she was on it.
Yes.
It's like, what?
That's true. And you could just tell it wasn't even like a, you know, looking at the audience and being like, I don't know what I'm doing sort of thing. It was absolutely just a personal moment because the camera was coming straight down from the
she
top.
didn't know it was there.
And she just...
But Oriane was telling me last night that the no texture was particularly slippy.
Okay.
She was like, it was more than anything I felt before. So that was interesting because I didn't realize it. Because I felt them and it felt slippy, but she was just saying it was awful.
Just something else,
yeah. Well, our final athlete out, and it's down to Janja Garnbret. No one has really got beyond, it's only just past the halfway point on this route so far, so it's up for grabs for Janja.
Very open right now.
Yeah, it is wide open for her. Janja Garnbret, as she's done so many times, stands on this Innsbruck stage in the top qualifying position with thousands of eyes on her. And it was pretty special watching her win the boulder competition. I went and ambushed her in isolation after the comp for the climbing club that we do. I sort of just was like, I'm just going to go and try to talk to her.
Yeah.
And as she always does, to be fair to her, she gave me her time. And, you know, she was emotional back there. You know, it means a lot, this comeback.
Yeah, and that is something that's really beautiful about her as a climber as well. It's just so incredibly humble, so happy to talk to fans.
Yeah.
And...
she's real.
Yeah,
she's a real person.
Very real. Just feels all the feels, you know?
But she's up against it with this route. It's a toughie. So, easy at the beginning. I also always feel for the setters at this point who have set so many hard things up high, you know. They'll be like, come on, get there.
I know, and like I do a bit of route setting as well in Australia, and it really is. It's heartbreak when you put so much effort and people don't get there. And you're like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than multiple tops, though, if they had to.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not for the crowd, but...
Well, it depends, isn't it? I mean, I think it depends on who you speak to.
This is true.
Athletes want to fight. Crowds want to see tops.
This is true.
I don't know. I like a few tops along the way.
Yeah. Okay, fair. I'll give you that.
If everyone falls off in the first 3 clips, it's a quick day's work.
Yeah.
Right, heel in for Janja. Looks good so far. And these aren't bad holds for her.
It has been interesting to see on these close-ups who prefers to full crimp stuff and who prefers to open hand or drag on.
Yeah, full crimp when you wrap that thumb over your fingers to lock it off. Janja flicks, zero hesitation from her then.
Straight into it.
Yeah.
I can imagine this next move might be similar.
Oh, wow, she does hit it, or tries to. I think she's still going to have to swing.
She went, never mind. Yeah, I think a lot of that is that position of that blocker. It just doesn't help you do that.
I think you're totally right, yeah. If it wasn't there, you'd be able to hit the edge of it and cut loose and swing into it. So Janja does take a moment here. She'll now start to swing. Ooh. Now, this is interesting. She's actually the one who's hesitated most on this move.
Yes.
Because she started swinging, and then I think she was like, hang on a sec, I can get a heel on.
Yeah, she looked like she went to land a hill.
So she goes again. I think she'll commit to the swing and the jump
like
now.
A setup for a swing.
Okay, easy. Yeah, there's an element of ring rust with Janja's climbing at the moment.
I did think that, just watching Boulder and now Lead as well, whenever there are those like really dynamic movements, like there's still just like a touch of hesitation, or like maybe I can do this a different way, or a strong way, or something like
questioning
that. Yeah. Which is completely understandable.
Yeah, it is. It's understandable, but it's interesting to see it in her climbing. She's doing 3 comps this year. She's doing this, Copper, and then the World Champs.
I suppose potentially it's that also we put Janja in this position where we're like, no hesitation, she's going to go for it, it's going to be this, and so we really do notice those flickers of doubt.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, pressure is a privilege, right? So
exactly.
when you are the world's best, you analyse everything, and then it's tricky. Right, that's Laura's high point. So Laura guaranteed the silver medal at this point.
Very interesting, yeah.
And Erin also gets another medal this year.
Funny
Incredible.
Just how close everybody is in this whole section.
Janja's been in 45 lead finals and has won 44 medals, which is just ridiculous.
Does that have the total of comps entered as well?
Not in front of me, no. And she's easily into the power moves, but this is the section that's caught a lot of people out here. And you can see a little bit of shakes to her movements here. She's working hard as well.
Yeah, it doesn't let up. This section does not let up. Even that heel does not look delicious.
No. But, whereas Laura had about a minute here, Janja's got 2.
Yep.
And she's going to go into the high point here. So this should be the gold medal for Janja.
I think the crowd knows it too.
Well,
it's getting louder down there.
2 out of 2 for Janja Garnbret. What a comeback. I ran out of words in Boulder, and I might run out of words again here. What do you say?
So, it's just interesting as well that there's so much more climbing to go. But the crowd's really getting behind her.
All the women are sitting. No one is talking to each other down there on the hot seats. They're just watching Janja do this.
Eyes on. How could you not?
Yeah. 1 minute 19.
Got another specific clip here too.
Hey, got a... Oh, she falls there. Who cares? She's got a gold medal. Well, that's 2 out of 2 for Janja Garnbret. Don't call it a comeback, Kate. Well, incredible stuff. Well, just over an hour of climbing in, and we have another gold medalist here in Innsbruck. Wonderful stuff from her.
Soaking it all in. There'll be some signatures handed out down there, I think, the autographs. Bit of a line. There it is.
Well, congratulations to Janja Garnbret. There's the Olympic rings on her ankle there, just reminding us that she is a double gold medalist at the Olympics.
And here.
And here, again here. I mean,
yeah.
She's done that a few times. Yeah, this was the only moment where she had a bit of a moment.
Yeah, and it did,
because this is it. She went for the heel.
That's it, yeah.
Then it didn't work. She tried it a few times. But you know what's incredible? Is she had that moment, and whereas others have slowed right down, like Erin or like Laura, Janja seemed to find the time back somehow.
Yes, because I did think that, and as we mentioned, like, Annie wasn't going to make it to the top of the wall in the time that she had left. There was still, it was still looking like with the amount of time that it would be possible.
Yeah. Which is just interesting. And again, it's very hard. You'd have to put everyone's runs in sort of a ghost format back to back to find out the little micro differences.
Yes,
between
someone should do that, if anyone knows how to do that.
Oh, don't say that. I mean, I'll have to do it. So let's see what my very talented editing team would have to do it.
Oh, okay, don't do that.
No, absolutely not.
If someone that is not on the talented would like to do that.
But then please send it to us, because we do want to use it. And also
find me on Instagram.
And don't steal footage, whatever. I mean, okay, I'm going to stop talking. This is a whole mind.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Janja wins. The coaches celebrate here. There's a lot of work that goes on here. This was the very, very top. She went for kind of a non-hold there.
Yeah, it was interesting because she was moving on from the hold as well that you had to clip by.
I don't think she couldn't quite work out how to clip it from that position. And love to the crowd. Well, wonderful stuff there. Well, the women's competition is done, but we've got plenty of climbing left ahead of us. I think we've got the flower ceremony to come here. At some point, Jakob will come up and Roxy will tag out, but this is the confirmation. Janja Garbutt leading the way by quite a way. 41 for her, 33 for Laura Rogerer, Erin Manice 32 plus for her in third, and Rosa Recker with 31 plus. Annie Scienso, Eloise Dumont in her first finals gets above Lutka Rakovic in eighth, who did have an early slip. And that is the separation.
Very tight.
It is quite tight all around that middle bit, eh?
Yeah.
Apart from Janja, who got all the way up to the 41. Yeah, we won't see the top of this route, sadly.
I know.
Well, let's take a couple of moments here and we'll return for the flower ceremony in a sec. Well, the flower ceremony underway. The full podium will be later on, but Janja takes that victory here tonight. Fantastic stuff from her. And, of course, celebrating with the other athletes as well. And another medal for Erin. Yeah, ridiculously good for that lady. And Janja with a deep breath. Job done for her. You know, there was an awful lot of pressure on her this week.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, I can't. And we always forget with Erin, I always say she's human, because she is, you know. Everyone feels pressure in different ways, but Janja always seems to deal with it.
Yep.
All right, we have an interview with Janja, I think, coming up in a second. My colleague will find her down on the stage. It'll be good to hear her thoughts once more. And just to remind everyone of a few things, the World Climbing Club, free to watch on YouTube, all the results, highlights, interviews, behind the scenes stuff and more. That's on the IFSC's YouTube channel. You can go back and watch the para climbing events for free. And there was one at the beginning of this competition in Salt Lake. Feels like a lifetime ago now, but that was at the beginning of the week. And then Lena Drapella taking fantastic photos. All that can be found on her Instagram or, of course, the IFSC's Instagram. And Roxy, just before these interviews, I might have to cut you off, but what's next for you? What's going on?
So I'm just here in Europe for a month, and I've got 2 more comps. I'm halfway done now, going to the European Cup in Bern next week. This Friday coming.
Okay, Roxy, I will cut you off because Janja is ready for us.
So, Janja, gold again. How are you feeling?
Honestly, I'm really tired after 3 days of climbing. It was just so exhausting, but at the same time, I'm just so happy. I came back, I climbed like I wanted to, even though I was not rested as well, but still the route was so fun, so nice, and I really enjoyed every single move. There was a little bit of hesitation on the swing, but I think it was because I didn't know if I could reach or not, but I really enjoyed. The crowd was fantastic, so all in all, I think good week in Innsbruck.
I was going to ask you about that swing because you had the crowd worried for a second there. Were you worried at all during that?
No, I was not worried, but I know the crowd was worried a little bit. Like I said before, I could actually reach, so I wasn't sure if it's like just to reach or if it's feet first or if it's swing. Honestly, the swing was a bit weird too because of the like quick draw, but then I found a solution and then I could just climb afterwards. And
you win most places you go, but in Innsbruck you win Boulder and Lead. I think this is the 4th time. You must love this place.
Yeah, I mean Innsbruck, I love Innsbruck. That's why I chose this comp for my comeback after the Olympic year, because the crowd is fantastic. It's like they give you fuel, they give you so much energy to climb, and I just love Innsbruck, and I hope Innsbruck loves me too.
I'm pretty sure Innsbruck loves you just like everyone else. It's great seeing you back, Janja. Congratulations, well done.
Thank you so much.
Well, myself and Roxy were nodding along, especially Roxy. You read that perfectly. The quick draw was the tricky thing with that jump.
Yeah, I did think it would be a little bit rough to get around, which obviously sometimes those moves, it just has to be that way. Like, if you don't have that clip, you're going to take a very big fall and potentially a nasty one. So,
well, I love that question. Were you worried about the swing? No, I wasn't. Well, we're going to have a look at some highlights again while we reset for the men's final. So sit back and enjoy the moments from our comp so far. And the crowd certainly enjoying things down in the stadium there. That big entry arch. And here's the highlights here. Some moments along the way worth watching again as we get ready for the men. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Innsbruck. If you are just joining us, it's time for the men's final. The women's is done. Janja Garnbret taking the gold medal, 2 out of 2, and 4 times apparently she's won the double here, which is just outrageous. Roxy, we were shaking our heads when she said that. She's unstoppable, I think, is the only word to describe it.
Yep.
What do you do?
Yeah, it is funny on a very different level. I can relate to the comment of like being very aware of how you look on the wall, and you know, you make something look like just absolutely rubbish, and you just think like, oh man, they must have been thinking I was going to fall off there. And you just like, in your heart, you know that you weren't.
Yeah, that was a lovely interview, that. Right, let's move on to the men's then. At some point, Jakob Schubert will join us. Right now, Roxy's sticking with us. Yannick Floey is out onto the mats. He used to be a boulderer, he's now more of a lead climber. I was chatting to him in qualies about that, and he was like, look, I just enjoy training lead more. It was like, I just find it more fun, which is interesting. So Yannick is back into another finals, just about. Do-hyun Lee makes finals number 2 here in Innsbruck, the Korean superstar. Just such a strong dude, this. Didn't win a gold medal in Boulder, but has come very
anyone
close.
that's in a double final in the same event as well is pretty
outrageous, isn't it?
Got to be pretty up there.
Yeah. Satomi Yoshida is out, the Japanese superstar, who's again one of the very best. It's great to have him and Team Japan representing here. And then after that, Alberto Quinez Lopez, 2 bronze medals so far this season, and it's really good to see him climbing back at his best as well. Yeah, he won qualies.
Yes,
he did
that's right.
Very well in semis as well. So Alberto back. And then Max Berton, this young man is always having a good time. He's onto the stage, and Max Berton, obviously part of that Berton dynasty, with his sister being quite handy as well, apparently. On the
Something
lead
like that.
Yeah, she's all right. Won the overall. Yeah, it was wonderful having Oriane in the commentary box the other night.
That's so good.
It's just, yeah, she was like, ask me whenever you want to do it, Matt, I'll do it. I was like, really? Okay. You know, I never approach her because I presume she'll be busy.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Especially if it's about your brother.
Yeah. And then Jesse Grouper is out. That man absolutely fantastic in semi-finals. He's been coming all season. It's good to have him. Toby Roberts won gold the other night, 51st in Bern, gold medal here in Innsbruck, and he looks so much more relaxed, so much more himself at the moment.
Yeah.
Can he make it another one? He qualified in second, but there's a certain Neo Suzuki who is up there, who was fantastic earlier in the season in Wujiang. And those of you who wonder where Serato is, he didn't quite make it. He was just outside of the final, so we won't see him tonight competing. But this man is quickly becoming one of my favourite athletes to watch. He's very fun out there on the wall. Okay, so this is our 8 finalists here tonight. They'll have another chance. We'll have a chance to look at them on the men's wall. And the men's route, I know you weren't paying as much attention because you're not going to be commentating it, but some big physical moves and enormous holds out there on the wall as well.
Yeah, I mean, the setter didn't go into as much detail about this one because I think the general themes of the route are actually quite similar to the women's. Being kind of that risky start and then some interesting moves, powerful. I think there was a campus section up a bit higher up, or that's the intended anyway.
Yes, there is exactly that. Campusing sections, thin hands, and it's rather spectacular. Right, 2 Japanese athletes, German athletes, America represented, Max Berton, France, of course, so it's going to be a fascinating little final, this. And this is the overall ranking sponsored by Euroholds, and Satomi Yoshida does lead the way at the moment over everyone else. And Alberto, the Neo and Serato won't really be able to add too many points to that because obviously did not make this final here tonight. So the sun has set here in Innsbruck. Last rays of sunshine cut through the valley.
A very stunning scene, isn't it?
So, Roxy, when are we going to go to Australia and have a World Cup?
Oh my gosh, I know. The closest we got was Bali, which is pretty exciting.
I'm mainly saying this because I want to go on holiday on Australia.
That's
at some
fair.
point.
Yeah. I'd be worried that nobody would come to it if it was already there.
I will be there.
All right. I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah, exactly. I want to come rock climbing in Australia.
Yeah,
I've never done that.
Yeah.
Right, well, the audience are ready. The athletes will be stripping off jumpers backstage, getting ready. Harnesses on.
Hands in the air. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, we're back at this stage again.
We got to do it again.
We do it again. Yeah, we had a sort of a hard reset to this competition. And there go the hands in the air, down in the audience. Such a party atmosphere here in the stadium. Everyone enjoying watching all of the climbing here tonight as Innsbruck starts to come to a close. Kids down at the bottom. There was the kids comp earlier on, some absolute crushers here in Innsbruck. It's one of those places, I walk into this climb wall, I get depressed how good you guys as pros are, and I think, oh, there's some kids, I'll be able to beat them. Oh, no, I can't.
No, I think you can have a very similar experience at B-Pump in Japan.
Yes, you're right, yeah.
It's just these gyms, they have a way of showing you that maybe you're not so good.
No, I removed all ego. All right, Roxy, Jakob Schubert has come into the commentary box here. So, look, thank you so much for joining me, Roxy.
It was a pleasure.
It was lovely to have you. I hope you can come back. Well, I hope I never see you again because you're going to make semi-finals and finals.
True. Thank you. Yeah.
But you have a lovely rest of the evening and we'll see you in a bit.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, as Jakob swaps in, we'll have a look at our route here. Same as before. 10 metres overhanging, the route winds its way up from the centre, out right, drifts left, and then finishes up right in the middle of this lead wall. The start, as you can see here, intro compression moves down low. And then we come into tension squeeze moves up at the top. Small hold, balance, big power, and I'm going to welcome Jakob Schubert to the commentary box. Jakob, first of all, I'm absolutely gutted that you can't climb out there today, but how is your finger doing?
Yeah, so am I. I mean, obviously, would love to be out there right now. Yeah, taking like 2 weeks off now, and I have a good feeling it hopefully finally gets better, but yeah. We'll see. Trying like a new therapy, got like an injection this time. Ooh. Some cortisone. It's like a last resort basically, because I've been struggling with it for almost half a year. But yeah, now hopefully this helps.
And is your plan sort of world champs at the end of the season, or is it too early to tell?
I mean, yeah. Like I said, I injured it in January, and back then I would have thought I'd easily make it until the World Cup in Innsbruck. So I'm getting a little bit more careful with what I'm promising, but I really hope I can I can get fit for Seoul, maybe even Koper, who knows.
Oh, that would be good. Love to have you there, man. Right, Janja, we're watching shots of her winning. I mean, you must have watched that out there. It was another great performance from her.
For sure, yeah, it was crazy. It was another dominant performance, I would say. It was a little sad that I think Erin and maybe also Annie, they like little underperformed for their ability. I think they could have done a little better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like the route was a little bit overcooked. Maybe it was quite hard.
Yes, I know what you mean, especially that power section. I mean, just to get through that is a pretty tough ask.
Yeah, the cross from the orange hold. I think if that move was a little easier, we would have seen a lot more girls like a bit higher up.
Yeah.
Maybe it could have been a bit more exciting, but still, I mean, it was fun to watch, I think.
It was. Well, we've got another chance with the men's here. So what do you think of this men's route, having looked at it?
I mean, yeah, it's really hard nowadays to tell without looking at it with binoculars, I would say, because with all the chips on the holds, I wasn't really able to tell like the difficulty of the moves. But it's definitely a quite long one again. I think yesterday was quite an endurance test.
Yeah.
We saw some like endurance specialists do really well, like Chessie, for example, who hasn't been in a final in a while, so that was good to see. But yeah, I'm really, really hyped. Some really strong finalists. Maybe a little sad to not have Serato in there, but yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, he just missed out on that final here tonight. He did sew up the overall Boulder title. Okay, so Yannick Floet is waiting in the wings. He told me earlier on how much he was enjoying lead training, slightly moving away from Boulder, which, you know, is something you're also maybe thinking about doing.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean, the older you get, the easier it is also to just focus on one discipline. It's just tough doing both disciplines, and yeah, keeping up with the new Boulder style is definitely difficult.
So Yannick is underway, so straight into these holds that we've seen throughout the last couple of days. It's hard to tell exactly what they are because there's various different sizes of crimps within that range of holds. Not too hard a start for Yannick. And compression down low. I think the women might have been struggling with a bit of heat on the wall from the sun being sort of there for quite a while. The men, it should be cooler for them.
I think it should be way better now, yeah, with the conditions. And yeah, I'm really excited to see Yannick. I think he had one of the best performances yesterday. I mean, maybe like a tiny mistake at the very top, but he's a really quick, decisive climber. I really love his climbing style, so yeah, let's see what he can do.
I do too. I'm glad you said it, because he reminds me of like a climber's climber, the way he does routes. You know, if you're a rock climber, you'll sort of appreciate what Yannick does out there. And he's entered the end of that compression section. Black volumes to come. And I wonder how many little jibs and chips are on here. He's certainly got his thumb on one. Up into the seconds.
He's cruising still, so yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, not trying too hard yet. Taking a moment to breathe, and it's fast, it's snappy climbing from Yannick at the moment. Crosses through with the left hand and will make that clip. Yeah, it was interesting, Laura missing the clip in her run really cost her.
Yeah, I mean, I was not sure what point she will, like how many points she will get, but I guess she was kind of lucky that they still awarded her quite high points, because I wasn't sure like which hold would be the
That's
last
what
one.
we were saying, yeah. I think she got maybe one down because she went up to the crimp, but she wasn't awarded the plus.
No
certainly.
plus, yeah. No. But that was still like, yeah, good enough in the end, so I think
she did good. All right, so this is where things step up a bit for the men here.
Yeah, this undercling section looks quite powerful now.
Yeah, it looks like a massive hold, but it's really awkward through here. And feet as well are bad. Locks off that crimp up, and he'll float back into the heel to make the clip, which is quite awkward behind his shoulder. Pockets now, and this is the camper section here. He cuts loose, tries to find a toe hook underneath and crosses through.
Wow, he still looks really good.
Makes the campus move. Yeah, he's floating out there at the moment.
Yeah, and like Yannick is usually not someone struggling with hard moves, so seeing him this fresh up there is like very promising.
There it is. We're going to see some head wall action here. He's up to the blue hold section. There's 360 holds. He's looking perfect at the moment.
Yeah, I wonder if the root setters are like already a little shaking, but yeah.
It's always hard to tell the first athlete out. You know, they in form. Is it too easy?
Yeah, and I mean, I think for the men's field, like, all of them can win, so.
Yeah. Massive hold. Yannick is in cruise control at the moment. He's got to go all the way right, though, at this point.
Come on, Yannick.
For the first time, maybe he's fighting now as he presses with that left palm. There's a pocket to come, a balancey sequence here.
Oh my God, yeah, no. Almost got the toe again with the stare against it. Oh wow.
He thinks he's done it, doesn't he?
Top.
Can he unwind off this pocket? This is the last question. There's the big hold at the end. I think he can, you know. Wow. Well, this is going to be fascinating, isn't it, Jakob? Because that's an early top to be had on this men's route.
I mean, that was an amazing performance. But yeah, it's funny because I thought about tonight, like something like this would happen. What I would say, like if there's like an early top in the route, yeah. As a competitor, like for all the athletes still back there, this is like the worst thing that could happen, basically.
So would you be discussing it with other people back there, or are you just all thinking the same thing?
I mean, it depends. Like the people still in ISO, so the last starters, maybe they don't even hear it as much. They could be like really focused back there with headphones or whatever.
Okay.
But the ones behind the wall that are just getting ready, they definitely hear it. They know there has been a top. And yeah, I don't know. It's very... I would say as an athlete, it takes away a lot of fun for you for the final round.
And to explain it, it's because you know you have to climb the route. So, you know, it's maybe not as hard as you thought. You're not going to fight as much, or what is it?
Not. I mean, what it is I think you want to show you're the best climber out there. And you can't really beat the person before you anymore, right? You can only do what they already did.
Yeah.
You want to make a high point. That's also how you get the crowd psyched. You know, probably the crowd is not going to be that excited at least halfway up, because they have, like, it looked pretty easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, as a competitor, you really want to show that you're like the best.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's basically taken away from you already.
It's so interesting hearing it put like that. It's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see. Boulder and Lead will be out next. But, you know, just to remind everyone, to flip it a little bit, Yannick just might be amazing tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of similar with Jesse yesterday. He was fourth out in semifinals. He top minus, or okay, there's no top minus anymore, but he almost topped. He had the top hold already in his hand, basically falling. And everyone thought, oh my God, the route is way too easy. And then it took like a long time for other people to get there.
No, exactly that.
But yeah, I mean, I think he climbed really well, just like yesterday. But still, there's a lot of other strong climbers coming up. So, yeah, we'll see.
It is going to be interesting. We're trying to, like, guess here.
I don't want to be a route setter right now.
No, exactly. Yeah. Someone told me a story about you, by the way, today, that often in this gym, there's 9A plus routes that get put up, so you can have a go at flashing them. Is that true, that it's kind of there for you? Not just you, obviously, but, you know, that's the kind of facility we have there that allows you to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is the team training center of the Austrian team, and obviously the gym itself wouldn't set 9A plus because there's not that many climbers that try 9A plus. So yeah, our coaches make sure that I also get like the hardest routes to train at to get in best shape. So I would say I definitely have something to do with it that we have like 9A pluses here. Yeah.
I think it's brilliant because it gives this gym a sort of legendary status, you know, like it's part of what makes it a place to come to, like a destination gym, I think.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. You know, like nowadays with a lot of private gyms, if the owner is not really into comp climbing, obviously they want to make money, and if you're running a business, you probably try to set things that like most climbers enjoy doing.
Human beings.
So you kind of, like as a professional athlete, you can, you mostly go to gyms where teams are training, because then the teams are setting for the top athletes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Good. All right, well, Boulder and Lead is underway. He was in the Boulder finals the other night. Super strong athlete here, and certainly more than capable of doing well here. He had injuries during the Olympics with a shoulder injury. Otherwise, I think he might have done a little bit better there. It's good to see him back in action on the bottom of this wall here. He's got, you know, when you're that good at a boulderer, you know that you've got all that power in reserve if you need it. Is it difficult to transition though? You know, I know there's some Lead World Cups early in the season, but he will be very much in sort of a boulder phase of training, I guess, at this point. Or would he start to transition into the lead season now?
Yeah, I think, I mean, especially for the first few comps like Innsbruck and the next maybe Chamonix and even Madrid, it's probably impossible to be like in the shape of your life in lead.
Yeah.
But I think you can still be in a pretty good shape. Like often, I don't know, like a lot of the good lead athletes, if you have done enough lead in your life, you always have this kind of base endurance. And if you have like a really good boulder shape, it's sometimes enough to have like 1 or 2 really good goes a day.
Yeah.
But like not multiple. And what I always feel like before I have trained a lot of lead, I can't really afford doing mistakes.
Okay.
So if you like mess up a clip, it just gets you pumped because you're not used to it.
Yeah.
But if you like don't mess up, like the boulder power really helps you to do well, and maybe you can even climb almost better than if you like train only lead.
Huh. That's so cool to hear it. Like, very rarely do we get athletes in a commentary box who, Olympic medalists, double Olympic medalists like yourself. It's so cool to hear your insights here. All right, Boulder and Lead onto these crimps, climbing steadily at the moment. Not quite the sort of, like Yannick just looks incredible out there. Lee is like a little bit more steady, thinking through these moves, but still looking good.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a different kind of climbing style often. I think Yannick just always looks like he's folding up. He's like this explosive, really powerful style. But some people, it doesn't look as easy, but maybe they're just even fresher. Like Jesse, like, I don't know.
Like, Jesse looks like he's going to fall off all the time.
And then he's just like chilling up there.
Yeah. And I've really he terrifies me and I enjoy watching it all at the same time. All right, Boulder and Lead launches left. This is the sort of interesting campusy section. Got to be careful with the feet there. There are lines of no texture where the black is. And then a toe hook underneath. Looks like he's managed to jam that right toe in. Do you think he'll be hooking with it or jamming with it, or will it be just pressing? It's hard to tell, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's like kind of a jam, but it's more like heel toe cam. Yeah.
And then that cross indicates the last clipping position before this move. Blocked crimps like we saw in the women's. And pockets to come, and he's going to enter the final section of this men's route as well as Yannick. And lots of time on the clock to do it.
I'm trying to remember what was like looking like a crux for Yannick, but I can't really remember any move looking very hard for him. Probably like, the next few moves are quite deciding, I think.
Cuts loose. Oh, and that's now, this is interesting. Jacopo, one of the setters, was telling me that's what they wanted. This Houdini swap up there. That's what they were trying to force. Really cool.
It's a fun move.
Yeah, we see it in Boulder quite often, not usually in lead, in terms of like a move they want the athletes to do. Oh, and a fig four to rest. Are you a figure four fan, or do you tend to avoid them? Is anyone a figure four fan?
I mean, I feel like there's not often the option to do it, so I'm pretty surprised that we have already, this is like the second one that I'm seeing this comp already, so, because there was one in qualifiers. It's not something you see daily usually.
Yeah, all right, so he brings the feet up. He's still got a minute and a half. Trying to fight a bit, So maybe Yannick was just on it. Oh, he falls there.
Okay. I mean, also really impressive and tough schedule for like someone like Lee, who is so good at bouldering, like doing every single round at a comp. That's always really tough. I've also heard like Sorato, for example, was quite tired yesterday, and Hannes also told me it's just like tough. I mean, all the bouldering rounds and then just one day of rest and trying all the lead rounds. So really good effort from Dojun making it this far.
It's a good point because, you know, we have a mixture of athletes here. Some are just lead specialists. And I do wonder whether that will factor into this, you know. Although we just watched Yanya with apparently zero fatigue, so who knows with that one.
I mean, if you flash all the boulders, then you save quite a lot of energy for a lead also.
Yeah. Yes, that's a good point, yeah. Yeah, when you've climbed only 4 problems, what is the issue? This was the Houdini swap. Nice to see that happen. And then from there, you could suddenly see him getting a bit tired after this section here. Stop that swing, just hanging off. And then hung around there for a while. That is slow motion, makes it look a little bit longer than he was on the wall for. This was going up off that pinch, hand coming off, and down he came after that. Okay, so 2 athletes done. Yannick Floe with the top is leading the way.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking if the route setters thought about changing the route slightly after yesterday, because already semis was definitely on the easier side for the men, I think. Probably the opposite for the woman, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a temptation to maybe go a bit too far down that route, isn't there? Maybe that happened with the women. You know, maybe it was a bit too hard. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. All right, so Satomi Yoshida is the third athlete out onto the mats here. He's got a gold medal last time out in Bali. Jakob, I don't know if you saw the Bali competition, but you've got to get over there next year. It was a really, really good comp.
Yeah, it looked really fun. Yeah. No, obviously, I've seen all the comps. I mean, I've been following the circuit, of course. It's fun seeing all the young guns perform.
Yeah, that was a beautiful place to go climbing. So he won last time around. He was fourth in Wujiang. So he's having a good season so far.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. He's training in Innsbruck also quite a lot. Like, he's often coming over for like 2 weeks or something training. So actually just a few weeks ago I had like a really tough training session with him up in the Boulder room here. I remember. He's always super psyched.
Nice one. So what can Satomi do? Crosses those feet through. Yeah, he's won quite a few medals throughout his career. That gold medal in Bali was the highlight recently.
Yeah, and I think he's probably one of the few climbers who has made all the free finals this year. I think Alberto as well.
Yeah, Alberto, 2 bronze medals.
I'm not sure about Neo. Did Neo make it in
He made it in Wujiang. Let me just have a little look just to remind myself.
He was second in Wujiang.
But yeah, he was 6th in Bali, so he made the finals there. So the music ramping things up here. The DJ's been on form all week. Satomi makes good, easy clips here. So plenty of time on the clock for him. You can see our leaderboard with Yannick way up high with the top. They're going to lead 38 plus. These big animal-coloured holds. What do you think of them? I've never seen sort of big volumes like this. You know, they've literally changed the angle of this lead wall. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what I've heard, like, I think they make it just for this, right? So I think it's quite expensive, and obviously it's like, yeah.
Oh, I see, because they literally have to shape them to the hole.
Yeah, they have to shape them for the wall, I think. And yeah, it's obviously they use them multiple times, so it's not just for one occasion, because they've used it last year as well. I don't know, you probably remember the leopard.
I remember how multicolored it was.
Yeah, I think the blue and black is new.
I think you're right with that, yes.
So we will see it next year again, I guess.
Our toys to play with for the Innsbruck wall, I like it. Yeah, you can see the angles there on our wall.
I mean, yeah, it makes it just look even fancier, I feel like. So.
It does, yeah. It's a spectacle here. So Satomi climbing slow and steady at the moment, making sure of these moves. He's about halfway through-ish at the moment. 3 minutes 48 on the clock. Looking very calm between these sequences. Oh, and a heel in underneath. So when you were training with him, what's his sort of preferred style, would you say?
Oh, that's difficult to tell. I mean, I think he's one of those athletes, like we just said. He made every single final. He's like a very good overall climber. Like I think that's what makes a really good lead climber, is that obviously you have some strengths, but the most important thing is to not really have weaknesses.
Okay.
And I think that's what makes Satomi also really good, that he doesn't really have a big weakness, whether it be endurance style or more bouldery style. I think he can be good in both, but I definitely see him on this route.
Oh, he's looking good so far. Those laces wrapped underneath the midsole. Into the pockets now. The Houdini swap is to come on that pocket on the left in the volume.
But I mean, yeah, like I said, Yannick would be more of the guy that wants like shorter, really powerful routes. Like he was telling me yesterday, that route was way too long, and like he wants a hard, powerful route. But now he ends up topping a really long endurance one again. So
yeah, I'd agree with you. It goes on, it winds around. So Tony really taking his time here. 2 minutes 16, it's enough time. I think he'd have to move fairly soon though. Doesn't want to run it down. into the danger
I mean, it
zone.
didn't really seem like there were a lot of other rests after this point, so...
This could be it, couldn't it? Well, he's made his mind up. He does launch. Here's the Houdini swap. Ooh, nearly. Just about saved that, and then a high foot, and he does start moving quickly. Is that quick draw? He does need to remember that. Where will he clip that from? Yeah, okay, so he's quite high on it.
Okay.
A bit awkward, that. It's taken a couple of seconds to do it.
Because, I mean, that was even the move Lee fell on, so...
Oh, that thumb underneath starting to be adjusted. Uber close shots showing all of the action here. So Tony looking good at the moment.
I think if you can make it in the press, it really helps. Then you're like using completely different muscles, and you're able to shake again. So let's see.
Oh, he loses the feet there. He tried to drop down, didn't.
Oh, nice.
Here is the press. So he starts to push away.
Yeah.
It's almost like they set that move up there, didn't they? It's pretty cool. All the clips are done from now on. He crosses in. I think he's going to do this. Left foot. He flips. He is going to get this done. Good stuff. Our second top of the round. So I think if you're fresh, this route is pretty doable. I think Dojan might have been a bit tired from Boulder the other day there. But that's 2 out of 3, Jakob.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy for them that they were able to perform, but yeah, it's obviously not really what you want to see as a fan. And also as an athlete, I think especially for the guys back there. I mean, yeah, that's also an advantage at least of setting a really hard qualification round. So at least they already got like a good result of the qualification round.
Yeah.
Because then there were a couple of ties yesterday. And now we'll have a lot of ties here.
Yeah.
Placing yourself in the first position.
Well, we're watching some replays here. This super close shots. So Tony's face coming into shot there. And that left hand right on the tiny crimps up on the wall. He never really looked like any of the moves were a particular issue. He seemed to just be managing the pump, managing the sort of the fatigue on it. And then this was the swap. If this was the only moment, perhaps, he came a bit low, but he was all right.
Yeah, I think the hold is like pretty good, so he was definitely under control there.
Yeah.
I think it's really like that's the thing with like setting with really big volumes on the last parts that we show usually the most vertical parts of the lead route. You give the athletes like some really good feet, and then it's even like setting some presses, some technical climbing. It means it involves less like power endurance because all of a sudden you're way more on your feet, and it opens up more possibilities to top a route sometimes, because like at the top you're getting really tired, but then you save yourself with like sitting on a really good foothold, almost like in a slab, not using your arms as much anymore. And I think we could see both also with that palm press they had in there with the left. They were both chilling again, and
if you
getting
can wave
so
the
much
crowd
energy
up
back, and basically making sure they can top it.
Yeah, it's a good point, Jakob. It's one of those things. It looks spectacular, those big volumes, but yeah, you are right. Opportunities to shake and just change the style up. Right, Alberto Inez Lopez is out, and I've really enjoyed watching Alberto this year. It's good to have him back. Like, he looks in a better sort of mental state, perhaps. And
I think he's in such a good shape. He's a really good friend of mine, so I was really hoping he can do well tonight. I told the Austrian TV he is my tip for tonight.
Okay.
But it will be a little tough now with this route. We'll see. Because maybe even the top won't be enough. But I really hope he can perform, because I think he's in a really good shape. Yeah,
so we look to sort of obviously count back plays a part, but then we go to time if there's multiple draws across it. Because there were draws in semis as well for a few athletes, but I can't exactly.
Obviously, Neo can just secure the win. He was the only top yesterday, so if he tops this final route, he's going to win. But I don't think there's any ties actually, because it goes down to qualification, and there were no ties there as well.
So we're not going to have a situation where we shared it like with Aaron and Shen. So those are the Olympic rings.
That was crazy.
Have you got an Olympic ring tattoo, by the way?
I don't.
Are you going to?
I don't know. Maybe someday. Like, I would not want just that tattoo. then
Okay.
I would like to get like a little more.
Okay, so you build it into a bigger design.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool. I like
that could be cooler.
Yeah, all right. Well, Alberto launches through. We said he's in good shape. Let's see if he can perform here in Innsbruck. He does need to top things, though. That's the thumb catch in underneath. Good shot to show it's almost as small as the screws themselves. I thought this section would prove a bit more tricky, but everyone's dealt with it really well.
Yeah, I mean, what definitely plays a big role in this final now is the mental state of the athletes. It's just so different to climb a route if you know there have been tops or even just that person before you top the route. It makes it mentally way more challenging, I would say. So yeah, Yannick had a little advantage in that regard.
Absolutely right. 4:28 on the clock now. Double clips in. Let's see how strong Alberto is. We know he's had to deal with quite a lot in his career, the ups and downs. So I think he's certainly got the experience to draw on here for a tricky round like this. Into the corner feature. That was a bit snatchy, but he's all right. And he will come up to the sort of, as you said, one of the only rests here on the route.
Yeah, I mean, often if you're like, you know, there has been a top, you really want to rush through the start, like basically get it over with, get up there as fast as you can. But yeah, like I said, it's mentally difficult. So because obviously the start is still not like easy.
No.
We're not talking about like super easy down there. So you still need to keep it together, stay focused, and yeah, don't overrush it.
Yeah, it will be up into the high 8s if we had to grade it. It's almost impossible to grade comp routes, but to give you an idea at home. So none of this is easy. All right, Alberto approaching the point where he'll shake. Back in, by the way, I'm seeing centre for a stat. Back in 2012 in Innsbruck, 7 men got a top in that final. So we've seen more.
I was there, Matt. Yeah.
Oh, were you there for? Oh, yes, you are. You were second.
I was second, yeah.
I've got you now. So mentally, how did you deal with that?
I thought about this final already.
Oh, but swap.
Right now, because yeah, it's probably one of the finals with the most amount of tops.
So did you struggle with it mentally? What did you do to pull through that moment?
I mean, yeah, I've been in a couple of finals with more than one top, I would say. So I've been in this situation a couple of times, and I just, yeah, they have never been enjoyable finals, I have to say.
Okay. So a lot for Alberto to deal with. Well, he's approaching the point.
Yeah, but he's looking good.
Yeah, he's looking good, isn't he? He takes a moment here just to fall back down. This is where Lee fell, or around this area. He's looking good. Right, big volume to come. There are jibs in there. They're hard to see from this shot, but you can just see the bits of chalk on there where he's got to grab. Not with the left hand. So once he gets stood up here into the press, everyone has cruised it from here onwards.
Come on, nice.
Okay, if he can just get...
He didn't get into the full press, like it was not as comfortable for him.
No, he hasn't hyped the crowd yet.
He's fighting.
Oh, he is twisting, turning.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's done it from here. He has done it from here. So he moves into the top spot with that one.
Nice job.
Wow, he is strong enough psychologically. Look at that deep breath he took there.
Yeah, you can see like it's not as emotional maybe as like some other top that we've seen from him in his career. Just because, yeah, he knew that's what he had to do basically. It's just like,
yeah. Wow, well that's interesting stuff. It's a different kind of a finals, this.
Sorry, but because you were asking about Innsbruck, and that's the thing, I think it also really matters what your position is. Back then in Innsbruck, I remembered, like, I knew, okay, it's going to be not that hard of a final route. There have been 6 tops already, but at least I knew if I'm going to top, I have the second place secured, which is pretty cool.
Okay, so you can be like, you know it's kind of easy, you're in a good position coming into it, and that does make a difference, yeah. So someone like Neo sitting, or Toby sitting down the bottom, will have that little cushion.
Exactly.
Okay.
They're like, okay, it's not that bad. Like, I might get the win for free, basically.
I see what you mean, yeah.
But, like, if you're in a position where you're not going to end up on the podium if everyone tops like Alberto, it's obviously even more frustrating.
Yes, you've done everything you possibly can, and it would never be enough. Well, I can see how that would be frustrating.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, that's the toughest thing. I think I'm always saying, like, when something like this happens, imagine a pole vaulter having, like, being able to jump, I don't know, 6 meters, but there's a ceiling at 550. That feels pretty bad.
I'm with you, yes. That would drive me insane if I was doing that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, yeah, not ideal here. And it's been interesting because the women's perhaps too hard, the men's a bit too easy. And but we have to remind everyone here that setters have an incredibly tough job. It's very hard to balance things like this. You know, so it's... I don't think any of us are insulting the setters when we say this. It just is a fact of what's going on here tonight.
No, for sure not. I mean, yeah. I know most of the setters here, and I mean, they're like incredible setters. They're really good athletes themselves, and I'm surprised that, yeah, I mean, they would say it themselves. They messed up tonight, unfortunately. Sometimes it happens. Also, I think sometimes they're risking it a little bit too much, like wanting a top, because that's what... Yeah, the perfect show means like one top, yes, and then second one like a few moves before it, and then you go on like that, right? Yeah. That's the best for the crowd and everything. But yeah, if you want to do that, then you obviously risk having more tops because the athletes are really close to each other.
Yes, exactly that. Yeah, I mean, it's almost, yeah, it's very difficult. Well, 4 done, 4 to go. Max Berton, Jesse Gruber, Toby Roberts and Neo Suzuki will come up in a moment. We'll show you some highlights in a sec. Take a moment to enjoy this and we'll be back in a second. Well, halfway done. 4 athletes to go. Max Berton will be up next for France, the youngster making another finals for him. And Jesse Gruber, he fought so well in the semi-finals earlier on, and he is back here tonight. And coming from a really nasty finger injury during the Olympics was Jesse, so never climbing quite at his best there. Right, let's have another look at our wall. 10 metres overhanging. Jakob, look, this is your home wall. You climb on it a lot. What's it like as a sort of a training facility, this? So what's it like climbing on that wall?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really tell it objectively. Obviously, I love this wall. I think it's such an amazing lead wall. I think it's cool that it's like a little different than some of the other comp walls that we have. Like often we have like these 3 different angles and they're all quite similar. So this has like a lot of different angles. And yeah, we have a good indoor gym here as well, but I always prefer climbing here on the outside wall. The female route from tonight would be my preferred line. That's like my favorite line for sure, but I think also the male route is like a really cool line.
And when you say line, you mean sort of through the different angles available, or are you talking about the actual route itself?
No, not the route itself. I mean like the line angles. Chosen, okay. Yeah, the angles. Yeah, I mean that's the steepest line.
56 degrees in the middle, or 53 degrees, sorry, 53.
Yeah, it's the steepest one, and yeah, I just love climbing on that part. On all the hard simulation routes that we have there, it's usually like getting out of the steepest section. The steepest section is already really difficult, but then you're only halfway up and you just like fight as long as you can.
That's cool. Okay, well, Max Berton comes out. He's one of those athletes who's still in this sort of, I don't want to say like happy, it's just happy to be there all the time. You know, he hasn't yet been affected by the pressure, I don't think.
Yeah, but I mean, it will be interesting to see him now because he's also an athlete that obviously hasn't been in this situation before on the adult stage because he's like super young. He's 18 years old. I don't think, yeah, I mean, obviously not a lot of athletes have been in this situation with that many tops, but still, just like he knows there have been tops and it's a difficult situation, like I mentioned. So let's see how he can cope with it.
So Max Berton approaches the wall. I remember him in Briançon when he made his first final. How cool a moment that was. And he had this moment hanging above the crowd, hyping up his home crowd. It was special to see. So Max on the way. Oriane was telling me when he was commentating how much he likes small crimps, sort of his strength.
Yeah, I think this route will suit him because in general it's more like it doesn't seem like a route with some really hard moves. It's more like quite hard moves added together, and I think that suits his style.
Absolutely. So, are we going to see our 4th top of the evening? Can we? Well, we can't beat the 7 record from when you climbed, but we can equal it. Maybe we'll just go for that instead. Just get some records underway. You can see the men watching on the right-hand side. I love watching you when you're in that hot seat area, Jakob, because you never stop talking about climbing. Like, you were literally, you're just analysing every moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, some people would call it a weakness of mine. I don't know.
Well, it's great.
Could also be a strength, you know. It
Yeah.
depends how interested you are into climbing.
Yes. Yeah, the other competitors don't want to talk to you. They just want to chill, and you're like talking their ear off. Man. That makes me smile every time. All right, so into the change of colours here. Usually indicates a different style of moves. So some wide pinches on some no texture holds for those super volumes. Max looking good so far as he gets in a drop knee. Good cross through here, and you can see those quick draws hanging off, showing you how steep the wall is. Trango equipment providing all of the quick draws, all of the ropes we see here, and the belay is wearing the harnesses as well. We keep getting a close-up of that left hold. It's blocked, it's a bit nasty. Max is struggling here a little, or certainly grimacing his way through it.
Yeah, I think this section with the tiny yellow ones hasn't looked easy for anyone. So
No.
actually, yeah, one of the try-hard sections for sure.
So if he can get through here, though, he'll have this moment to shake, and everyone has managed to recover pretty well after that, apart from Lee. Lots of crimps now. So Max with the left foot that's sort of smearing the no texture. He's got the jam in underneath. I think he's got a heel in under that. Hard to tell. It must be very deep, that hold. I mean, the fact his leg is disappearing inside it.
Yeah, I think it's very deep. I'm not sure if it's the one that also has some kind of an edge at the outside, because there's so many versions of this one. I assume not, because then it would be a jug, and like this it's more of a sloper.
Yeah, I think you're right. So there's the clipping point, one of those crosses, comes back to the heel. That's the I4C results. I think we have a slight issue with some of the results at the moment, by the way, if you're trying to check it on the app. I've been told the servers are being rebooted on that, so apologies if we were having problems. So Max approaching the Houdini swap, which is probably the riskiest move here, or one of anyway, that match with the hand, the jump out. Alberto leading the way over Satoni and Yannick due to count back. They all got tops, as you can see on that graphic on the left. So there's 2 minutes on the clock, 2 minutes 13 on the clock. He's resting. You can see the back of Alberto's head, Yannick talking to him. Red Bulls in hand. So here we go. Max with high feet here. He's going to make this match with that foot in. It works for him easily. I like that method. So Max getting cheered on the crowd. The sun's setting in the background. Just
fighting.
Yeah, he's working hard here. He hasn't even thought about that clip. The elbow's going up. Max in some trouble here. He's still ignoring the clip. Max falls on the big dish. Well, it's not going to be 7 tops, thank goodness. Max fighting hard, but that's going to leave him outside of the podium.
Yeah, it seems like the section after the Houdini swap up until like the huge 360. Also, because now we lost like Do Yoon there, and also Max losing a lot of power in that section. This seems like the hardest part of the route.
I think so too. Well, this was him air climbing down low before his attempts, mimicking those moves on the ground, just reminding himself, because the men read the route at the same time as the women at the beginning of this evening. So it's been a while now. The skin looks good in that shot. And this was into the giant volume where you can really bury your leg and hand underneath and jam it in. High foot. This was how he did the Houdini swap. Well, he did it just before that shot with the toe hook in. Had to fight after that.
Yeah, I think right here, like this move is where it seemed like he lost a lot of power. Like the next move, going to the undercling.
All right, well, we're moving into our top 3 now. So if any of our next 3 athletes tops the route, that will be a guaranteed podium for them. And that was where Max fell. Those elbows going up. He'd ignored the clip, which is always a telltale sign an athlete is running out of steam.
Yeah, it's good to see him still happy, like enjoying climbing here with a big crowd. Yeah, it was also good to see, like yesterday. I think it's always cool in semifinals when you already had like an evening show of a semifinal, and some of the climbers appreciated it even more because maybe they haven't been to a final, haven't been to a very big stage, but semifinals here feel
it does.
like
It feels like a final, doesn't it? Yeah, like a long final, which is cool. Yeah, the crowds have been massive here. The queue's out the door. You know, I arrived at the venue quite a few hours before we start, and there were people there waiting. It's really good. All right, Jesse Gruper is out onto the stage. USA athlete, the only USA athlete to get for the men to get up to this stage. Through with that finger injury, and it's been a good year for him. 2 13th place finishes in Bali and Wujiang. It's the first finals of the year.
Yeah, it's good to see him back like in finals.
It's where he belongs, isn't he, really?
Yeah, and I mean, it has been a while since he was on the podium, right? I mean, there was this season that he basically dominated, and
Copper 2023.
Yeah,
was the last time he got a medal. That was silver.
But he climbed really well yesterday, so yeah, excited to see him on this one today.
Yes, he'll know what's ahead of him. And we know as well. So if he tops, he's got a medal. If he doesn't, he hasn't.
It was a quite different mental situation for him yesterday, I think. Going really early in semis, maybe not expecting like too much, and then almost topping the route. I think tonight he probably expects a little more from him because he did so well yesterday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And he's a specialist. Didn't compete in the Boulder competition earlier on in the week. So, drop knee in to rest here. Time not proving a problem either on this route. Jesse a little slower than everyone else, but this is kind of the way he tends to do it.
I was going to say, if there's anyone having time trouble, then it might be Jesse.
Might be him, yeah. Is there any way, like, it sounds so easy, doesn't it? Just climb faster, but, you know, it's not that easy. What can you do to improve your speed?
I think it's a lot about, I mean, obviously it's also a lot about style and how you're like used to it, but also it's a lot about general power. Like I think Yannick, for example, he's such a strong physical climber that he can afford to climb this fast. It's also a matter of risk that you want to take or not.
Yeah.
I remember I've also been like a little bit of a slower climber, and then over like the last 15 years, I had to compete with Adam Ondros so much, and he was the fast climber, and he would beat me a lot.
Okay.
So I would also, try to learn from him, see what things he would do better. And I think it was his faster, more efficient climbing style, and that's when I started to try to climb faster as well. Like really think about, you have to train climbing faster.
Okay, and actively doing it rather than just thinking about it.
It's already like with what kind of mindset you enter the route. Like I have the mindset of like, okay, I don't want to chalk a single time up until like the 4th quick draw or something. Like first turn moves, I shouldn't have to chalk. It's like, don't stop the flow, just go.
That's so cool to hear. Like, because it's one of those things that sounds so obvious, but it's interesting the actual things you do for it. All right, well, Jesse is towards the big volume here. So let's see if he can jam those feet in like the others have done. He's looking good at the moment. And there's still plenty of time. 3 minutes 13 on the clock. He hasn't gone for that jam in underneath.
Yeah, I mean, it's always dangerous to rest on underclings, in my opinion. Okay. I mean, it depends maybe on your strengths and weaknesses.
In what way? Because you can slide out of them all. Like
no, not in that regard. More in like that it's draining you more than you're actually getting back. Because it's just you're always so much on your biceps, even if it's a good hold. I would always say, like, to younger climbers, don't dress too much on even a joggy undercling.
Okay.
It's like, it's a trap. But that's how it feels for me.
This is great. Jakob, I'm learning so much from you tonight. It's brilliant. It's like a free coaching lesson. Fantastic stuff. But he's got the feet down low, so and he's quite a way up from here. He's got his feet so low. Into the crimp then. Good pockets to come, and then that Houdini match. Minutes 18 on the clock. We'll keep an eye on that. And the elbows are going out here a little bit. And there's a shake. I think Jesse's struggling. Cuts loose, spins wildly, can't hold that from the position. He does go down. So 30 there for Jesse. That's going to be is the lowest fall so far from him. He says goodbye. But, you know, first finals back, maybe just building his way into this one.
Yeah, I feel sorry for him. Hope he could do better tonight, but I think he's happy to be back, and that was a really good step, and hopefully we see a lot more finals of him this year. Yeah, yes. I think that's a podium for Alberto now, right?
Yeah, so Alberto's guaranteed. Toby and Neo to come. This was Jesse down low on the what's called the compression section by the setters.
Toby still has a chance for the double, so...
Yeah, he does. It'd be cool to get a double-double with the Olympic, because obviously Janja's the Olympic gold medalist, Toby's the Olympic gold medalist, so both of the gold medalists taking gold is pretty special. Can they take a double gold? That would be a story if that happens.
Yeah, definitely a chance. But there's one guy that can...
Yeah. Who is looking very good. It's Neo. Yeah, so Jesse was trying to control that swing. He looked in trouble. That leg was shaking. The second he cut loose, you got the feeling he might not be able to wind that one back in. He couldn't, but he really tried. Look at that shoulder, almost fully round. And then surprise when the hand popped out.
Yeah, I think it was really important keeping your feet there, like releasing your left hand, and then only once you do the move, you can like let go of your feet. I mean, it was also not his plan. I think it was, kind of popped.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake maybe from him. Because you can see the face expression said it all. He was looking towards the next holds, to be fair to him, and then it was a shock when he came down. From the coaches as well. Well, it was what it was, but that is going to be outside for Jesse Gruber. 2 to go then. Toby Roberts and Neo after that. There's Max chilling with Jesse. That's our high point. 3 at the top of the wall. Max Berton, Boulder Lead and Jesse Gruber currently outside. And don't worry, it's not that dark yet. We've got blue lights on the wall here as our next athlete prepares in the wings. Here is Toby Roberts. And Jakob, I'm sure will appreciate a little bit of what he's been through this year in sort of your after Olympic season, how difficult it is to sort of bounce back, I guess, from that? Or was that not something you experienced?
Yeah, I mean, he's also in a different situation, I think. I mean, he won the gold medal last year, I didn't. And also, I mean, it was maybe still for him a little bit more out of nowhere, like winning the gold. Not that obviously he was a favorite to go there, but I think he might have not been as well known within like
you're right,
the UK or whatever. So he definitely exploded from like, let's say, not from 0 to nothing, but still he got really big, and all of a sudden the expectations and the pressure and everything really increases, and that's a tough situation for such a young kid.
Yeah, it is. No, for sure. And it's an intense year last year. You know, everyone was... I've never seen people look more tired.
Yeah, I mean, of course, with that I can obviously relate. Like, it has been really tiring mentally as well. Like, especially, like I said, him or me or Serato going as a favorite to the Olympics, that's always way more difficult. It means like it's already draining you mentally a lot beforehand, like maybe the full month before the Olympics. So that makes you tired. Then you have all this pressure increasing after winning gold, and I'm sure it was tough. So it's really cool to see him back at like performing.
There is coaching his dad, Tristan, on the left. And I've had a lot of conversations with Tristan. And at no point has Tristan been worried this year. You know, he's just been like, it's part of the process. We all know it is. It'll come good. And, you know, it's worked like that so far. So it's been, he's got a good team around him, as Toby. All right, well, he's got to climb this route, first of all. He needs to top it for the medal. Up he launches into the first of the pinches. Camera pans back, fully dark now, almost here in the stadium. So Toby launches up into the sloper, crosses through with the left hand now. Okay, so no drama so far from Toby. Crimps to come. And we've seen a lot of athletes working hard through this section. They are small holds up there. He's mainly got a thumb in on that left. Comes up to the next one. That's better, a bit in cut.
Yeah, I think this route is also pretty good for him. Suits his style as well. Kind of like Max. Like, I think he's really good on more endurance routes. Maybe not like the hardest sections in it, but more like when it's adding up. He's such a crazy fighter. Maybe like the most impressive fighter I know.
I know. Brixton, his first gold medal in Boulder was that Boulder where he won it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Ridiculous.
Like he just everything. He used every part of his body to get on that one. All right, it's business time here for Toby as he launches across. I think it's all about if you can move through this section efficiently and how you do it. It's the long quick draw done quickly. Up to the crimp for Toby. This is where Jesse struggled. He was looking for a left toe and then brings it back towards that black volume. And that's our leaderboard currently.
Yeah, this is where everyone chooses to rest.
Yeah, I guess that right foot is the best hold. The pockets are pretty good. But yeah, I love how he comes back down to the crimp to shake out as well. Very Toby, that one. Now he's got the right foot locked in underneath, and it just means that there's less of a swing, but there's still quite a swing. Just for Toby. Now has the one armor. That was a bit wild.
Really physical way of doing it, I think.
Yeah.
But he has the endurance to be able to afford it, I think.
Yeah. And easily into the Houdini swap.
Yeah, this section is important, I think. This is where we lost Dojun now, next few moves. Yeah, I'm not looking as controlled as some of the others, but I think he might be able to fight through.
I love the shot of the moon there in the background. It's just stunning here in Innsbruck.
Oh.
Right, he's underneath. It clips up high. I think he's fighting here, Jakob, a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Alberto guaranteed a medal here, so it will be his third of the season. Can Toby get something back?
Wow, okay.
If he can get to the press, he will. It's this part, this little traverse on the bad crimps.
Yeah, I think now he has like the hardest part behind him. So now it's, but he doesn't look as fresh as some of the others. So it's all about fighting. But I think it's only getting better from here. So if he can get into the palm press,
it'll be a moment, yeah. And plenty of time as well. He's got 1 minute, which is enough. Toby's shaking on every move, trying to get something back. There's a point where if you get too pumped, it doesn't matter if you're holding onto the biggest jug in the world, you're going to fall off it. And Toby is trying to get something back here. 54 seconds. The press is ahead of him. If he can press through, he'll get a moment to recover. Oh, he's dropping. What is he doing here? Okay, yeah, into the right hand now.
That's okay, yeah. Now the press.
The crowd know it as well.
Yeah, I think he got it. Come on, Toby.
He has got to move, though. 34 seconds. He's really pumped.
Yeah.
And that cross through at the end, you know, we saw Alberto struggle on it. You need something left. Oh, no, maybe not. He's got 18 seconds. He's hyping the crowd. Oh, he's slightly... He's good. I think he's good.
Got it, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I
9
don't think
seconds.
he knows that he's this close with the time.
Let's go, Toby. Come on, get it in.
Just making it.
Just about. Wow, I had sweaty fingers there. I'm like wiping my hands on my shorts.
And that was a tough fight, just like we kind of like expected, because he's a fighter. Because it was not as dominant as some of the other guys we've seen. I think he really had to fight through some of the sections, but he got saved by this like more rather technical ending.
I think you're right. That height, though, I think it was one height too many before the top.
Yeah, I mean, that was risky.
It really was, yeah. think the coaches are having a quiet word at some point. But you know what? You never see Toby showboat. So I quite like the fact he just did that. You know, it's good. I think it just shows he's relaxed at the moment. He's feeling good. And he's the one who's going to make those judgment calls. Who are we to say, or me to say anyway? This was down low. We started trying to get rid of the pump. And this was a bit wild, bit physical. Jesse couldn't hold it. He just about did it. And I like the fact he just committed to sort of releasing that arm and committing to the one armor. Yeah,
Jesse, I think, like, it was a bit more controlled for Toby. Jesse, it seemed like his heel really popped and he got more swing. And then he couldn't really control the swing. Yeah. For him, it was still more controlled, but definitely not the most efficient way to climb these few moves. No. But yeah, he had enough left in the tank to still top the route. So, well, it's been a wonderful sort of confidence-boosting weekend for Toby. He's got already 1 gold medal. He's guaranteed at least a silver here, and that is he'll walk away from this week and think, "Yep, okay, it's all good." This was the pocket. He did not have a lot of time left at this point. I was really worried. That was the extra hype. He did not need to do that. Yeah, I mean, that would have definitely sucked. Oh, God, can you imagine? That would have haunted him for a long time, but he was all right. I'm sure he was aware of it. Or maybe, maybe not. I'll have to ask him. Seems like it was well calculated. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, it's exciting now to see Neo. I hope he can also perform. He did so well in semis and also in qualification, having the only Look top. At Tristan. I think Tristan thought that was close as well. Look. Yes, there will be a word later on. So Alberto, yeah, exactly. We all thought the same, Alberto. That was the face we had here in the commentary box too. I was just sweating everywhere at that point. Well, Neo Suzuki, it's pretty simple for him. He tops route, he gets a medal. He tops route, he gets a gold medal. His first one, which makes it even harder. So yeah, he's never won a World Cup before, so he knows this is like such a big chance, and that doesn't make it easier. Right? No, that's such a good point, Jakob. And all that, he'll be thinking about that for a while. It's an easier route. This is my chance. Or maybe he'll switch it all off and be an absolute machine. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, I think we all know he has the ability to top this route. It will be a lot about his mental power and also, how many mistakes he's going to make. But yeah. So here is Neo as he walks across the stage. Everything rests on this man here. I mean, whatever happens, he's going to learn from this comp a lot because, this is a tough situation to be in, and he's a really young competitor. So, even if, hopefully he can keep it together and just give his all. That's what we want to see. Yeah, he's 20 years old. Already got that silver medal. He's been competing since only 2023 on the World Cup stage. Vila in 23 was his first comp. Yeah, I mean, I just checked his results yesterday because I've also, he hasn't really been on my radar up until this year as well. Because I think in 2023, he did his best result was 16 for making a few semis, but not really making it to the final. Then last year, I assume he didn't really make the team, which was hard because of combined and the Olympics and everything. This year he's been crushing it. Yeah. He's been in every single final and made his first podium in China. So it's one of the reasons why 3 medals in LA is a good thing for the sport, I think, because it allows different people to shine, rather than just all-rounders. I mean, it was the only step to take, sure. I did like the combined format, though. I thought for TV it was very exciting. But yeah, I mean, also I like the thought of trying to do both things. I think it really increased also the difficulty in both disciplines, because all of a sudden every single top athlete would do bouldering and lead. So that was really fun of everyone trying both disciplines. Yeah. I mean, I think the best would be to get combined back eventually. I would agree with you, But still have, obviously. Yeah, it would be cool to have an extra event. I think that might be a way off. Yeah. I mean, I think I like combined. The only problem about it was just how you're adding the 2 disciplines. Yeah. Our sport was not really made for it to make it in the most fair way. Yeah. It will always depend on route setting, and I think having the 3 disciplines is obviously the best solution. You have a very balanced view on it, which is interesting. It's sort of that maturity perhaps that you carry into it, because it's interesting hearing you talk about it. All right, Neo is in halfway through these pinches right now. I
can't imagine what he's going through right now. But, you know, we watched him in Wuzhen. We had to come back and reclimb that route. We know psychologically he's good at dealing with stuff. The moon hovers in the background above the mountains. Our final climb here in Innsbruck 25.
That's one hell of a first good World Cup season.
Yeah.
Reclimbing a final route, having to climb last after 6 tops, 5 tops.
Madness, isn't it? And he dealt with it so well in Wuzhen. There was no sort of anger that we saw. You know, he just got on with it. All right, up towards the crimp. He's not looking to be having any problems so far with this.
Yeah, and I think he's climbing very confident and decisive, which is a really good sign.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you see someone all of a sudden trying around on certain moves, like we kind of saw Annie before, that's not a very good sign of their confidence on their go. But he looks very decisive so far.
Absolutely right. He locks in, looking like he's got no problems here. Drops down with that right foot. He's just looking so chill. Yeah, arms straight. Gets that long quick draw in easily. He's very quickly become one of my favourite climbers to watch as Neo.
I mean, the way he walked the semi-final route like a park, that was insane to watch.
Gets the toe in. There is a bit of a lip there, you know, you were talking about it. There's enough to get a toe in, I believe. No, not a full jug, but there's something to hook onto. Oh, wow.
He also didn't really rest for a long time.
No, suddenly it's got a bit wild here for Neo, but it's entertaining. Oh, I mean, look at that. Huge Houdini swap. It's almost like he's aware that this finals needs a bit of a show, and he's just deciding to do it for us. So thank you, Neo.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen this guy being tired ever, I feel like.
Yeah, whatever training plan he's on, we need to copy this.
Yeah.
Alright, he gets towards the tricky-ish bit, or the trickiest bit of this route here, this sequence here. You either get shut down or you move through it.
It's crazy how some of the guys just fully dominate this part.
Yeah, and others look like, you know, it's, well,
like for him, didn't really look like a crux for him. So
plenty of time as well, 1 minute 35 on the clocks. Here we go then. If he can get to the press, he should be good. No one's dropped it from there. There's not been a hint of this, you know, pressure that we thought he might be under.
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, maybe it's just so easy for him that it's
maybe it doesn't
it doesn't really matter. You know?
Maybe he had headphones in all the way. It was like, oh, whatever.
No,
you think he knows?
I think so, yeah. No, he knows for sure.
Well, he's thinking about this for the first time now. Off he goes. Oh, this is
the other beta, yeah.
Yeah, that's what Toby did. He was making it work though.
Yeah, seems good. Yeah, now it's like a bit sketchy foot match maybe. Okay, now going for the cross.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Yeah, this is now a bit dodgy. Hips in. If he can get the pocket, he'll be all right. I think Neo's going to take a gold medal here. If he can unwind, he'll take it.
Yeah.
He's going to take his first gold medal. Neo Suzuki will win here in Innsbruck. That is, yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely fair play to you on that one, because to keep that together is impressive. Toby will get put down to silver, but...
No, yeah, that's I'm really happy for him, keeping it together. And I mean, yeah, even though this was obviously not an optimal final route, he definitely deserved the win, because he was the best yesterday. In qualies he was second, but still he was the only one to top the left qualifier, and then also topping semifinals. I think he was the best climber of this comp. So
yeah, I think he's got a little bit of blood in his mouth there from somewhere.
Oh yeah,
I think he might maybe cut his lip or something. It looks like, I don't know. Anyway, regardless,
maybe he was nervous.
He's biting his lip, literally. Well done to Neo Suzuki. It was just a matter of keeping himself together, but honestly, the way he did that, I am so impressed with. Jakob, you've got to go, haven't you? Because you've got to run down and do some interviews and stuff.
It's not you're okay? Not too much of in a rush. I think he's going to do an interview with
the
3 medalists first, and then
So finger-wise, the idea is to rest up for you, try to come back soon, and yeah, I've missed having you around, to be honest, Jakob. It's I like having a veteran out there on the walls.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Alex wasn't able to perform so well yesterday, but yeah, no, I'm really. Somehow I'm just as hungry as like many years ago. So yeah, all I've been waiting for is finally to be healthy again. I think that's obviously getting more difficult the older you get. So that's the biggest challenge. Just like staying super healthy and not having like anything hurting is like a bit more rare than it used to be.
Mate, everything aches for me. So
yeah, I'm having just as much fun, and like I'm really psyched. So hopefully you'll see me back on the wall soon.
And this is an impossible question, I appreciate, but if you're healthy, is LA a goal for you? Do you want 3 Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Like right now, it's definitely imaginable. Like I said, like as long as I'm so motivated and have so much fun training, climbing, competing, I found a nice balance of like doing a few comps, focusing on a few comps, but then still get to climb outside a lot. And this, I can definitely imagine doing this a few more years, and also making it to LA, especially now with this decision of being able to just focus on lead, hopefully. But yeah, right now my focus is just on getting healthy, and then once I'm healthy, I can actually focus on making a decision whether I want to really push for LA. But I think, yeah, there's a good chance.
That's good to know. Well, this is our leaderboard. 5 tops all the way down to Yannick Floet, then Max Berton, Boulder Lead in 7th, and Jesse Gruber in 8th. Well, look, Jakob, I'll let you get on with it because I know you've got stuff to do. Thank you so much for joining me. Honestly, it's a pleasure having you.
Thank you, that was fun.
Yeah, and good luck with the injury, and I'll see you very soon.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, mate. Well, there we go, our final hit done tonight. And just a reminder to everyone, the World Climbing Club is free to watch on YouTube. Go and check that out. Lots of interviews, lots of behind-the-scenes content in there. And thank you to the team for putting it together. Well, flower ceremony, first of all. Neo in the top spot, Toby Roberts, and Alberto takes medal number 3 this year. And the double for Toby as well. So here we go, a chance to celebrate with the athletes. The main podium, of course, will come later on. Well, Neo Suzuki had to keep it together. It was a tricky psychological battle for him. But what a performance from the Japanese athletes, who did exactly what he needed to. Kept calm, kept focus, topped the route, and takes his first gold medal here this evening. An amazing performance from him. Well, interviews and podiums to come for the men and women before we will wrap things up. And remember, there's a speed climbing competition next weekend. Always lots for the IFSC to get our teeth into this year. Well, interviews to come in a couple of minutes. Podium after that. And we get to hear... Oh, in fact, I think we found our interview. We found Mr. Neo, who is waiting in the lights. So when we're ready, we'll just go down and hear from our gold medalist.
Do you want to be in the shot as well. I think you should be in. Is that okay?
We're just getting organised here with translators.
And congratulations. It's your first gold medal in a World Cup. How are you feeling?
I'm so happy. Yeah.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about the route.
I feel easy route, but it's difficult for me medium pass, so I felt a little negative.
Okay. And you're climbing well this season. Are you going to go for the series title?
この後のシーズンもありますけれども、次のタイトル、年間のタイトルとかを目指して何か考えていることはありますか？
日本語でいいですか？引き続き、トレーニング続けて、しっかり大会に合わせて、そうですね、年間しっかり狙っていきたいと思います。
Yeah, I want to training, keeping more hard, and then so of course he get one to the gold and the overall ranking.
Well done, congratulations and enjoy your gold medal.
Thank you so much.
Well, there we go. Congratulations to Neo. Podiums to come in a couple of minutes, so please do stick with us. We will be back soon with the men and women's podiums. A chance to celebrate with our athletes who have put everything on the line here tonight. And while we wait, we are going to show you some wonderful highlights from the final, all the exciting moments that we witnessed earlier on. So let's check those out. Sit back, watch, enjoy. Podiums to come. Well, thank you to the replay team, doing a great job behind the scenes, getting all those replays ready for us. I can see the women waiting in the wings. The podiums are ready. It's almost time for our ceremony. In fact, here we go. So the athletes come out onto the stage. And Janja Garnbret, the double-double for the 4th time here in Innsbruck. Incredible stuff from her. President of the IFSC, Marcos Scalaris, is out on stage to award the medals here tonight to Janja. He must have hung more medals around Janja's neck than anyone else in the world. And what a lady she is. Manice, bronze medal for her here tonight. Another medal to add to her vast, or growing collection, I should say, this year. Always impressive as she transitions away from boulder into lead, and it'll be interesting to see how she does the World Champs. That double potentially on the line, eh? And Laura Rogera takes the silver medal here tonight. It was a good fight from her. That misclip perhaps problematic. Good work from Laura. And finally, Janja Garnbret takes the gold for a second time here in Innsbruck. Fantastic work from that lady. She'll be back in copper for more lead climbing. And then, of course, the World Champs. Well, congratulations to Janja as her team celebrate with another victory for that lady there. The accolades keep coming, don't they? So men's podium to come as we reset. Stay with us as we celebrate with the athletes. Well, I can see the men starting to gather in the background. We'll rotate through pretty quickly as our final duties here in Innsbruck. And reminder that we're off to Poland this week. Wow, there's this week for the speed competition, and then Chamonix after that. And then Madrid before the Youth World Champs and a pause in August. So here we go, the men come on to the stage. Toby Roberts leads the way. Neo in the middle, and of course Alberto Hines Lopez after that. Alberto Hines Lopez Congratulations to you, another bronze medal. I'm sure he wants it to be a different colour, but consistency, very impressive from him. Toby Roberts, silver to add to that gold he won in Boulder. Great stuff from him. Toby Roberts back in a big way here in Innsbruck. A chance for him to have reset, recalibrated, and a really impressive performance from Toby against the odds to bounce back that well. But the night belongs to Neo Suzuki. Wonderful stuff from him, coming back. Well, coming into this competition, needing the top, knowing that it was an easier route, and if he just finished things, he would get a gold. Hard to hold things together, but boy, did Neo do that well. Congratulations to him.
Japan will be playing.
Well, there we go. Congratulations to all of the athletes and everyone, in fact, who's competed over the last couple of days here in Innsbruck and a week as well, because from Para to Boulder to Lead, it's been an absolute awesome fest of climbing. But it's now time to say goodbye and reset here in Innsbruck. A little bit of quiet for the organisers, quiet for this climbing wall, and thank you to all the audience as well who joined us over the last couple of days. It was wonderful. Well, we will be back soon, of course, for more IFSC action along the way. The season is such an exciting one this year, and there's plenty of climbing to come as we head towards the World Champs at the end. Thank you to all my co-commentators who joined me over the week. My name is Matt Groom, and it's been an absolute pleasure calling all of the action for you guys watching. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you very soon for more IFSC action. Good night, everyone.